Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday sound stream where the chat's not showing for some reason.
It can't be a sound stream without technical difficulties, right?
There we go. It's up now. It's like, why did it vanish? Welcome to our fun show. It's going to be a fun week. We're going to try this new thing that, just we've tried to do it in the past, but I'm like sticking to it. We're just going to try to like get rolling, start the news, and then chat with you guys after if we have time. Because we sometimes like don't take a while to get to the news, and then by the time we get to the news, we have like stuff happen. So let's just the idea is like we're just gonna roll up into the news. That's the wrong outline image as well. I swear I prepped early today. I just got distracted and didn't finish it. Introducing my wonderful co-hosts here. We got Ryan in one corner. Say hi.
Hey, how's that JoJo news, Kaus?
And Kaus has gone silent.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd say hi.
No. Kaus, you can say hi, and then also JoJo news that we'll talk about.
Yeah. I got caffeine, so that's good. As for JoJo, I'm happy on both fronts, the toys and the other news.
Part 7, baby.
Yeah, I didn't put part 7 as a news topic because I just don't know JoJo. But
you don't know JoJo.
And like another friend of mine, I'm not mad at the design change for Johnny, which is, if you don't know, there's some people mad that his pants also don't have stars on them, and I'm like, that's such a dumb.
All I know is those horses are gonna be CGI because horses are a pain.
That's why we did. Yep.
Horses are a pain to draw and animate.
That's why we didn't think part 7 would happen, because they were like, horses are tough, man. But yeah, they're probably gonna be CG.
Flames of Fires. I'm glad you rediscovered Digimon, because like Digimon is the best.
I mean, good year to get back into it.
Really good year to get back into it. It's like franchise has never been better than right now.
True, like legit, it's never been better.
We're firing on every cylinder, not just some of them.
This is legit. This is more peak than it was back then, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Spin Dash, happy Monday. I'm here. Into the little one needs me. I just imagine wherever Spin Dash's child needs him. He's like the Poochie, like, I must go now. My child needs me.
Basically. While everybody gets in, I'm going to do the little, like, let's go look at the channel last week thing. So last week on the channel, couple interesting videos. I realized like after, I think it was like on Saturday, I was like, oh, I made it Marvel week. Just decided to just try 2 different formats for the channel we hadn't really done before. So the Guardians of the Galaxy reading order / collecting guide.
That got a really great response. I was happy to hear.
Tons of comments on that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, even though the views aren't high, I think the reception alone is great to see, honestly.
And I think when I was talking to Ryan about like comic stuff, and you're like, oh, you should do like a video. It's like, oh, because I mentioned like I had all the modern Guardians. He's like, you should do a video on that. And I was like, okay. And I thought about it for a while. It's been sitting in the back of my head. And I was like, what if I make it like a guide to reading the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's through like the collection? And it was kind of like a little bit of a high concept that I was able to make it a lot simpler. And I was like, it's going to be a casual reading guide. Because I a lot of times when I look up reading guide videos, I like a lot of them.
They're a little too in-depth.
They're a little too in-depth. They're a little too much like read issue 1 to 4, then read the annual, then read issues 5 through 7, then read this annual, then read this crossover. It's like
using the trades help a lot because most people read through the trades, or essentially you mentioned Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited, it helps. That helps because most people reasonably, understandably read through those digital apps. So it's good you mention those stuff.
Yeah, because the thing with I think that this was good as a good kickoff to the format is because I read most of this on Marvel Unlimited, and then I bought it later when I had the opportunity. So I had kind of like the dual experience of reading it digital versus physical. I did. Psycho has mentioned the new intro to the video. I did forget to put the new Soundout12 comics intro in because I I used it for the last comic haul, and then I forgot to put it in this one, even though I remembered the logo. So sometimes when I get a new thing and I forget to stick it in, so just something to work on. But I like it the way it turned out. I think I kept it pretty straightforward. I kind of want to do it when I do one of these. I want to do it like with a character or a team that I'm really familiar with, so it can
So
just kind
Daredevil,
of
so
roll.
so Daredevil's next then, right?
Daredevil probably, but I may wait a little bit.
I mean,
Just because I just did a Daredevil video.
I would say do Blue Beetle, but maybe wait for the third collection to come out before you do that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Yeah, maybe also when the DC Finest drops of like the Ted Cord stuff. So it's just kind of like that thing to sort of. I like the format. I definitely could clean it up a little bit, and I think I also didn't realize my fan was on, and it was like reflecting in the book, so you just see like this fan in some of the books because they're a little
I no,
glossier. But
I think only thing I would recommend for the future is for like stuff like the Outwing run. I
yeah,
recommend putting a picture of the compendium that released so people know
I totally meant
what
to
to
do
look
it, and
for.
then I was editing it super last minute, and then I was editing it while I was in Couch's stream, so I meant to put an image in, and then I just forgot. So I need
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
make better notes.
yeah. That's what I recommend. Like if there's when you don't have a format that's been like that collects multiple
Yeah.
traits into one. Yeah, I recommend doing something like that where it's like I have these traits, but I have these traits, but also there's a
Luckily, that one
compendium
is
out.
as easy as going Guardians of the Galaxy by Al Ewing, whereas some other collections like where they're like titled super weird. I'm like, yeah, I'll make sure I'll like mention it.
Hmm.
I also didn't mention omnibuses in this because it's kind of pointless. There's only 2 Guardians of the Galaxy omnibuses, and
I mean, yeah. I mean, this one
yeah,
was like I think I made at the end put like these this run like maybe after you're done talking a run you could probably talk about if you want to collect this run it's in these exo collections like
yeah,
omnis or epics and such like that just to help people know what because I think that's also a big part of trying hard. I think that's the hardest part of getting into comics is
mm,
like where to get them and not it's not the classical read which Batman number one blah blah. It's more of like again most people reach into trade
yeah.
so they want to know, which trades is it that story's in scenario like
Because
that, or
there's
Omni or
3
Epic.
trades in that video called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Is it
Yeah,
3?
and such like
No,
that.
4. There's 4 trades that are just titled Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. They have different subtitles, but it's 4 different trades. It's actually how I ended up with the Donny Cates run by accident, because I thought I was buying the Al Ewing run, and then I wasn't paying attention, and then I was just like, oh, the spines line up, and then I just bought them, and then I looked at it later, and I was like, wait a minute, I got Volume 1 of Ewing, Volume 2 of Cates, and Volume 3 of Ewing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it when they were doing like the second Bendis run was called Guardians of the Galaxy New Guard, and then like the Dugan run was like all new Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I like when they do that because it helps distinguish it. Um,
Hmm.
it's just kind of like yeah, it's tricky, but
Because
yeah,
because now the only way they really tell run to run is say someone's character by
yep.
art or writer
And
nowadays.
that's the nice part with Marvel at least is that like they try not to swap writers. If they're gonna swap writers, they restart the numbering. And
Hmm.
while that is annoying, because it's like we have a bunch of like 12 to 15 issue runs, it is really helpful and consistent that you're like, okay, this is a new writer, this is a new number 1.
The most
Um,
annoying one was Rainbow Rowell She-Hulk.
yeah,
They didn't even it's literally the next issue of the run.
same
Why
artist
remember
too.
it?
They're doing it with
Yeah,
Fantastic Four, like this July. It's like
yeah,
same
Ryan
writer,
North.
but we're just
Yeah,
starting from number 1. They did it with Bendis in Guardians, but Secret Wars was in between, so like it made sense. Um,
yeah.
yeah. But anyways, and then the Daredevil video, yeah, I kind of explained the origin of that in the video, which is I thought about doing an every Daredevil figure I own video, but then it ended up all being Marvel Legends. So I was like, well, that's not that interesting. Let's do like a ranking. Like, let's just rank all the Daredevil figures. And I did pretty good. Nobody in the comments was like, you missed this one, you missed that one. So it kind of worked out pretty good.
At
Yeah, I
least you
like,
basically say like action figures and not like still no one's
yeah.
like we're superhero squad Daredevil or something like that.
Yeah, like I didn't put superhero Daredevil, I didn't put any of the Funko Pops. Like if they were an articulated action figure, then they made it in. That's why I ranked Hot Toys for the first time. That was fun. Yeah, no, that was a fun video to do. Good reception on both of these, and yeah, just more formats to kind of mix things up. For both my own sake, but also just to give you guys different things to look at. All right, shorts last week. There was a sponsored short that came out early. And then this really fun short I made about Tony Chopper and his Super Robot Squad.
So those are separate model kits, right?
Yes, those are 5 separate model kits.
I kind of want to get them now. I'm seeing that video. It's like
At,
that looks so fun.
at my Barnes & Noble, the head component was $18, and all the others are 10 each.
Oh, that's nice.
They're
Good.
it's like really affordable. Because what was that? That was only like $58, I think, for that whole thing. and like each one comes with 2 chopper figures, like one standing and one sitting, and then like all the like you can have them all sitting together in like a cockpit formation. That's a fun set of model kits, and it's very Super Robot, and I really liked it. So I was like, I'm gonna do a short on it, and all the like lore things that are in the instruction booklets I tried to incorporate into the video. And so I just really enjoyed it. I had fun.
Do you have the Frankie Mecha kit?
I don't yet, but I want to get it eventually. It's on my list of kits to get. I'm building the large size 1000 Sunny right now.
You need it.
It's intense.
You need to be super sound out.
Yeah, no. If I do a Frankie one, you'll definitely hear me going crazy. Yeah, I just had fun doing that. That short took like 8 hours to put together, but I had fun doing it the entire time, so I don't even care that it took that long. It's just because like to do all those cuts, I had to film a lot of footage. So it worked out pretty great. So yeah. Let's give a rundown to everybody in our chat, our text chat, while I get the news set up for us.
All right. Well, okay, that's not everybody. Okay.
Just scroll to the top and go through, I guess.
Okay. Welcome. Jamie's World, Muteki T, Peacemaker, Collector K9, Master Ben, S4 Jason, Mr. Arrowverse, Common Jojo, Spider-Man's Prime, IPH Brooks, Blade Raider, LPH, Flames of Fire, Toma, Kaiju 1954. I might say that already. Cyclos. Common. Did I say Common Jojo already?
I don't think
I.
Well, if you,
So.
and you did now, if you didn't.
Forever One and Somar. Welcome everybody.
Welcome. If we missed you, just give us a shout.
Zeltrax.
Yeah, Zeltrax. Yeah. Why Jamie's World says why can't they remake other Digimon series? Because it costs money.
Master Ben, favorite Spawn action figure?
That one. Oh, it's tricky because there's a lot of good ones, but I'd probably say the Gunslinger Spawn with the horse. That one's just perfection. I have 0 complaints with the. I already love the Gunslinger Spawn figure, and then they put him on a horse, and I'm just like, yeah. Muteki T, it's okay to skip my name. You know I'm here in spirit. If Muteki, if you somehow weren't here, we'd still feel that you were here.
True.
Yeah. All right, you guys want to do some Blu-ray news?
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's get to it. All right, so in the world of Blu-rays, we got the announcement of the Sean Connery 007 James Bond 4K collection. So the regular edition has this cover, which is interesting because it's a compilation of like posters and ads for the films as they originally came out. It's not the prettiest package, I will say. It just kind of I don't know if it like looks a little weird. The Bond set I have is the 50th anniversary set where it's like the entire like franchise up through Skyfall, and they're like each individual page. It's like a book style.
Were they in those like slim cases? No, I'm thinking of older.
Yeah, that was the older set. The slim cases. Yeah. I have those as well. I bought these movies many times. I'm hoping the 4K transfers are good. I'm kind of waiting to see. Because sometimes 4Ks get weird.
How good are the Bond home media stuff usually?
Pretty solid. The 50th anniversary collection, which was like, again, all the movies on Blu-ray. I love that set so much. Because like all of them have the same menu design, but then it's just slightly tweaked for each movie. And so like you can play a fun game with family. Like my mom and I were like, we want to watch a Bond movie. And she was like, pick a Bond movie. And I was like, okay. So I put it in the Blu-ray player. I turn the Blu-ray player on, and the menu starts up, and it does like the James Bond like gun barrel shot, and then it transitions. And so it's like you're kind of playing the guessing game. And then it was like, surprise, it's Tomorrow Never Dies because Michelle Yeoh was in it. Which is also the movie my mom wanted to watch, but she was like, I'll just give you the choice. And then we ended up both thinking of Michelle Yeoh. So that kind of how that goes. But I love that menu design. The bonus features were like incredible. I love that set so much. And so when it comes to the 4K stuff, I haven't bought the Daniel Craig 4K. I have the 2 most recent on 4K, but I don't have the collection. And I wasn't sure if I was going to, because I was like, well, they're not doing the others. But now that they're doing the others, I got to kind of wait and see. Because ultimately, I think, without knowing the bonus feature contents, that 50th anniversary set might still be the best box set. because of the nature of how a lot of 4K releases lately are missing bonus features, and also that menus are not as cool as they used to be. So I'm kind of
I
waiting
know,
to
right?
see. Because I really love those menus. Like, if this is a significant upgrade, I'll probably just buy these in addition
Ha-
to
Have
that box
you and
set.
your family ever played? Was it Seen It? Those Seen It DVD
Yes.
quiz things.
If you ever want to know why I know random trivia about old movies, it's because Turner Classic Movies Seen It was a game my mom and I played to the point where we knew all the answers to all the questions. And that was like one that had like the cards, but also like the DVD you could put into the player, and it had like video clues and stuff. That game,
Yeah, 'cause
that was
I
great.
remember seen those over the 2000s growing up and
Yep,
such.
I remember those
Yeah.
too.
I can't remember. I can't remember if we own Star Trek Seen It or if we don't own it. And the reason why we wouldn't own it is because if we played it, my mom and I had just watched all of Star Trek over the last few years, so it would just give an unfair advantage to literally anybody else playing.
Yeah. You need to play that with me and Jerry and see how
Yes,
bad we do.
and that's the thing is like yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I'd lose, but also surprise you, just
you would
as
get
I've
like
done.
some random answer that I've forgotten about just because.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, for contents of this, I guess I didn't really go over it. It's going to be Doctor No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever. These 6 Sean Connery movies. Now, personally speaking, if I was
I want to
curating
see
these
Doctor No again.
collections, what was that?
So I kind of want to see Doctor No again. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, that one's great. That was the first one. I think my favorite movie out of the set might be From Russia with Love.
That's probably the best one, honestly.
Goldfinger's the most iconic for sure, though. I think
Is that
most
the
people know
one?
That's the one
Goldfinger.
most people talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always funny where I think people know GoldenEye from the video game more than I think the movie.
Yeah, that movie's not like that great. I mean, Famke Johnson's in it and Alan Cumming's in it, which is a really fun like pre X2 like appearance of them. But I don't remember Goldeneye for anything else. I mean, the song's great. But yeah, no, I definitely want to get this. I would have thrown in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was the one and only George Lazenby Bond movie.
Oh,
Because
yep.
Is that like the Rogue Bond movie or like the weird one actor appearance?
yeah,
Bond
it's the
movie?
weird one actor appearance that didn't work. So because here's what this collection is. It's Bond movies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
So we're saying that's the Paul McGann
Yes,
Bond.
it's
Pretty
like the
much.
Paul McGann Bond if 2005 Doctor Who started with Sylvester McCoy back.
Yeah.
Like basically what they did is like Connery was like done, so they're like, oh, let's do a new actor. That didn't work, and they're like, please, Sean Connery, come back.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Welcome,
And
Ghost
then
Fans.
literally, it makes me think of Pooh as well. Funny
Yeah.
enough.
It's almost like when they brought
No,
David
wait.
Tennant back, except it was just for an anniversary thing, right?
No, wait. I just realized that no, it's not Paul McGann. Is that the War Bond? Is that
Yes,
the War
that's the
Bond?
War Bond. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Muteki. Yeah, movie 6 was with the George Lazenby movie, which is actually I think the saddest Bond movie out of all of them. That one's stuck in my brain. He's not as good as Bond. Like Lazenby's not necessarily a good Bond, but I like that movie a lot. But I would have made it just a movie 1 to 7 set, and it's just like you get the Sean Connery movies, and then you get a bonus George Lazenby. Because now I'm like, okay, are they just going to release the Lazenby movie like single, or because Roger Moore's got like 8 movies, and then like Timothy Dalton and Pierce Brosnan could be paired up. That's like 6 in total, and then you're good. But
Quick question:
yeah.
yes or no? Did you like Dalton? Because I do.
I like Dalton a lot. Yeah, I think it was great. I think his movies were a little like grimdark though. Like, yeah. I think both movies, like you go from Roger Moore, which was just still kind of like it's like snapping from like Roger Moore, which was like Silver Age comic, to just straight into the Killing Joke. Like it's like there's no transition period. You have no Neil Adams Batman period. You just go straight from like goofy stuff to Killing Joke.
Jamie's World, member for 13 months. Love your channel regarding reviews. Ever doing writer and Sentai episode reviews or reviews of other shows like Doctor Who, other shows. I think the problem is copyright.
I think a lot of it comes into copyright, and also I did review Sentai and Writer on a weekly basis for like half a year when I was doing the Soundcast.
Yeah, was that the Soundcast? Yeah.
And then I found that I was just over analyzing the shows to the point of not enjoying them anymore.
What's that?
That's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a classic case where it's like, I think you're overthinking on a show meant for kids.
Exactly,
Exactly.
Like I'm watching these shows made for Japanese preschoolers to sell them toys, and I'm like trying to, because what it is, and this is the thing sometimes that like people run into, like, why did this critic review this movie this way? Sometimes you have to, like, when you're reviewing something, you have to come up with something to talk about, and if the show doesn't give you anything to talk about, you have to start digging for something to talk about, and that is rough. It is not easy.
I think that's I think that's how I kind of feel with some people's reaction to Power Rangers in general. I feel like some people take it way
Yes.
too seriously, and not like not like essentially comparing to Sentai. It's not like the case of I'm not saying it's bad to be like that kind of fan to love the lore and all that stuff. It's more like, oh man, like Power Rangers don't do this compared to Sentai, and like, guys, I think you both realize both of these shows are meant for kids that meant to sell toys.
Yeah.
There's no one better than the other in terms of like, oh, this one's cooler because
They have the
do
exact
this,
same
that.
approach, right? Like
Yeah.
one's just from another country, and it just automatically seems cooler because of it.
Yep.
This is and this will go back to, like, why is this crowd pleaser movie just not for,
Blade Raider, Drago Diamond Paw, because we're all like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were legit, and I was like, why you guys over?
People were way over analytic over Daima. It's like Daima.
Even Kanzenshu was doing it, and I'm like, wow.
I saw people do this with Digimon Ghost Game, and I was like, this episode's
Yeah.
just about a vampire, guys. Like,
Yeah, I think that's why I like Ghost Game. I think because some people go like Ghost Game was horrible and all that stuff. Like Ghost Game was fun. Like it was like
yeah, it's a simple show. It's like what people are like. Why is the Super Mario Brothers Illumination movie so poorly reviewed? And it's like, because if you're a critic who's never played a video game, what do you have in that movie to talk about?
And that's kind of why I think, yeah, it's one of the things where what's the target demographic for in that scenario like that, and you just have, do you enjoy it, and like that's why I personally like more enjoy talk about what I like about a thing versus what I don't like about a thing, unless it's like really bad or something like that, where it's like
so circling back around, the most you'll get out of me for episode reviews is you'll just hear me talk about it on a live stream, because I can just kind of talk about how I feel about it, and it doesn't have to be like an entire video. It's easier, and I like talking like stuff like that.
I don't know how people could do single issue comic reviews from.
I have no idea. I can't even do comic reviews because I read them so much just for fun and not for like.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I always I can like.
Wait, I say that I used to do that. What am I talking about?
Yeah, no, it's tricky, right? Like I tried to do it for Power Rangers books, but yeah.
It gets mind numbing, Ryan. That's how.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, there's
as somebody who used to do weekly comic.
Yeah,
reviews.
like I said, like our thing is more easier to review a story arc than single issues, because like. I feel like reviewing a single issue is like you're kind of reviewing like only a quarter of the stuff.
That's
whole story.
How I felt all the time, Ryan, while reviewing issue to issue back in the day. That's because I would think to myself like, man, this issue doesn't feel as strong, but like, what if I read the whole thing and like I'll like it later? I always had that in the back of my head.
I feel like that with serialized streaming shows is the same way. It's like if you try to break down each episode, you start to lose like a little bit of the enjoyment. It's like, but it's like at the end of the season, was it all worth it?
In case of some shows, no. hello Netflix, I might cry.
And then on other things, in terms of movies, I can review movies a little easier because they are just like self-contained.
They're one and done
stuff.
Yeah, they're one and done.
I opened a Letterboxd account and I started filling it out. So I'm gonna share it when I got a few more movies. I've only got like 3 movies in there. And it's just I want to like kind of do that because it's kind of, I was like, oh, this is kind of a neat way to track like what movies I've read, because I keep like an ongoing list of like what movies I watch in a year. But I'm like, let me like log them into this thing and then just like do like little quick reviews on them. Like I've only logged 3 movies, but it was like I watched. That was like the 3 most recent movies I watched. So I did like a little review for the Kaiju #8 compilation film, and it was a good compilation film. That's like all I had to say. Police Story 3 Super Cop I watched like over the weekend, and I was like, this is a great movie for like its action and stunts and all this cool stuff. And then I wrote like 3 paragraphs about Better Man.
I hear that meme. I'm like, is that one of those like fake movies from like a cartoon? Like Spinner Cup was it? What was it
Police
called?
Story
like
3 Super Cop does sound like a fake title, but its English title is officially just Super Cop.
Which confuses people here.
It's a super.
Not knowing it's actually the 3rd one.
Super Cub. He's a cub that plays by the rules.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, just Jackie Chan stuff.
Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh.
I honestly, I say for stuff like that, I actually just like enjoy listening you just ramble about the movies on the discussion like
Mhm.
halls.
The Blu-ray
I
halls are
think
the
I
best place to just talk about stuff I've watched. That's why I'm trying to make a concerned effort to like watch the stuff before I film the Blu-ray haul, so that way I could be like, I can talk about it now.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Now circling back to Bond. If you're wanting to get the collection but you don't like the cover in the standard case, there's also the big old steelbook set. I'm
That's
personally
what it should
not
be
going
called.
to do this. You guys know me. I love
Is
steelbooks, but like,
this like the Superman steelbook or
yeah, the Christopher Reeve set that's like 5 steelbooks in one. This is 6 steelbooks. That's going to be a thick box. With Superman, it was fine because that's the entire series. This is 6 out of 29 movies. I'm
so
not
it's gonna
putting
be what?
29
How many?
steelbooks on my shelf.
Well, is it 29
Yikes.
steelbooks or is it gonna be for the whole movie? Okay, yeah, for the whole series that'll
For the whole
be.
series, yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to start a
Hey,
steelbook
hey,
collection here.
hey! That's where house defense weapons. Then
I know, but I got enough omnibuses. I have a stack of omnibuses right here that I can do that with.
true.
Yeah. Ghost Train says I'll do it for Dalton's movies. I think that, if I was just going to buy like one part of it, like I like my favorite Bond is Pierce Brosnan. Even though I don't think any of his movies are like top tier, I just like him as Bond. Um, I would like maybe buy a Pierce Brosnan set, but since I'm kind of like an all in on Bond, I'm like I'm just gonna go for the standard because it's gonna be easier
And
to manage.
so yeah, so right, just like those oversized steel boxes are larger than they should be.
They are.
I kind of like that with comics because like, I like hardcovers, but like God, I feel like they're a little too big sometimes. Or like
Mhm.
they're slowly like the problem with like hardcover books for me, and they're slightly bigger than my shelf, and thus they can never fit in any of my shelves without like
You know
me
what's
reorganizing it.
you know what's really annoying is that my shelves I have sized for omnibuses and they fit great, and then the Power Rangers hardcovers are like a 1/4 inch taller.
I hate that. It's
So
just like, oh yeah, it's only bigger by a few millimeters or
yeah.
something like that.
SSJ4 Jason, would you ever do a Bond tier list? Totally. I'm gonna put it on the list of like fill-in topics for something. I'm gonna write it down here. Bond tier list because I would totally do that. I love the James Bond movies.
Mateki, you can make some space stuff. The crisis. He doesn't have the crisis film yet. I'm still waiting for that.
I still haven't
I'm,
bought them. I keep
I'm
looking at
still
Amazon and I still have to spend like $45 to get them, and I'm like, no.
still waiting. I'm still waiting for the follow up to the spine video.
Yeah. Oh, Ghost Train's asked the hard question. Favorite Bond opening. Um,
Ooh.
you know what my favorite Bond opening is the one that didn't happen.
Which one is that?
So for Spectre, they tapped Radiohead to do the theme song for Spectre, and they produced like this really great track. And then like at the last minute, they just decided, you know what, we're gonna get Sam Smith instead. And his song's fine, but like Radiohead was just like, kind of pissed about it, and they're like, well, screw you guys, and they just released the song for free.
Fair.
And
That
it's
is super fair.
incredible. It's so good. And it makes me mad that like it's not the actual theme for the movie because it's so good. But in terms of like actually officially used um Bond themes, I really do like. I think that was also the reason I picked Tomorrow Never Dies, was not just because of Michelle Yeoh, but because I love that theme song.
It's kind of
So
weird.
good.
Like I know this is just pure accidental, but it's kind of weird. We're getting so much Bond stuff now at like post buyout.
Yeah.
Like, was this all like a happy coincidence, or was this like were they like ship right away? It's the same thing when like I think it was Switch to Direct. The Hitman people were doing a new Bond game. It's like, man, that's like
Apparently they
fast.
announced that years ago, and that was the same exact announcement promo.
Oh.
I found that out later. It was like, yeah, that was already announced years ago, apparently, and I just missed the news.
So the more classic sample of people's announcing things too early.
Yep. The Radiohead song was called Spectre. Like, it was titled the same as the movie. If you look for it, you can find it. It's fantastic. It's like, it's got that really great, like, classic Bond feel, while also having, like, the modern, like, Daniel Craig era twist on it. It's great.
Hey, since it's no longer a Bonding song, could that work as a theme song for the Spectre?
It could. I mean, it totally could. It has that kind of, like, haunting, like, mysterious feel to it. In terms of Bond songs I don't like, do you know which one I don't like? It's the song for Quantum of Solace. I don't like that movie in
really?
general, but I don't like the theme song to it, even though I like Alicia Keys and Jack White music like separately, but them together doing that song just did not work for me. It just didn't work.
Understandable.
I don't know why. It's just sometimes you combine two artists and it just doesn't make gold. Yeah, but I like most of the Bond theme songs. I still have that one on my playlist, even though I don't like it that much. I even like Madonna's song. I like Madonna's Die
The
Another Day
game though
theme.
was pretty sick though. By the way, just throwing it out there.
It's
The
true.
Quantum of Solace game, great.
That was the best thing to come out of that movie because the Quantum of Solace game wasn't, under strike rules. Spin Dash said the greatest not Bond song of all time, Snake Eater. Yeah.
Yep.
Also great not Bond theme is Firewall from Reboot.
Yeah.
All right. Next Blu-ray news. Captain America Brave New World's coming out on 4K, Blu-ray, Steelbook, and not DVD. We
Huzzah!
finally won. The only way if you want this movie on DVD is to buy the Captain America movie 4-pack that's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. So what we're gonna got standard 4K. We've got the Blu-ray limited edition at Walmart with the pop-up diorama, which is pretty cool, and this really sick looking steelbook that I'm really into. That I'm definitely I think I have it on order already, but yeah, it looks stupid cool.
It's definitely one of the better steelbooks. I mean, I kind of just like the normal cover because it just looks like Sam just standing there menacingly.
Yeah, it's just kind of a render of Sam, just floating there. Yeah, it looks really great. Welcome Hellfire and Harls. Yeah, the fact that DVD is still kicking is nutty. I agree, Hellfire, because for Better Man, the 4K Blu-ray combo pack is an Amazon exclusive, and then the DVD is the only retail version. This makes me mad.
At this point, I just assume the reason why DVD is still around is just you can't get it's too ingrained in pop culture.
It is now. Yeah, they missed their chance. The studios missed their chance to get rid of DVD. They had a chance when Blu-ray came on, but they let it linger, and now it's just too much into the lexicon. Right? It's just never going away. That being said,
even to this day, even when you mean home media in general, it is faster to say DVD.
Yes.
Nowadays, it just
Blu-ray has a branding problem that we don't really address that well. Blu-ray was not the name that was going to catch on. HD DVD was never going to be it either because that's a Wii U situation. Yeah, we needed something else, but that's what we got. On the good side, though, we are getting an audio commentary, 3 deleted scenes, 2 featurettes, and a gag reel, which means this has more bonus features than most MCU movies the last couple of years. So,
I mean, what's nice is
Somar asks, what's the difference between DVD and Blu-ray? DVDs are an SD video format, and so you get a maximum of 480p on your video quality, and they are limited capacity, and you can pretty much only fit a movie on them. Versus Blu-ray, which are much larger capacity, therefore HD video up to 1080p. And then allowing for you to include a lot more material and a higher quality in audio, sound, and visual. And 4K Blu-ray is the next step above that to bring everything up to 4K standards.
The best way I could describe Blu-rays to less home media savvy people is think of it as a bigger hard drive for your computer or a bigger SD card. That's the best way I could describe it to simple terms. Such like that.
Because the average Blu-ray can hold 50 gigabytes, whereas the average DVD can hold less than 5.
Or even more simple terms, DVD is small bucket, Blu-ray is bigger bucket. You can fill more water with bigger bucket.
Yeah, and it's the difference between the PS3 and the PS4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the Switch or Switch 2.
Yeah. Commentator says, will there be something after 4K? Nope. I think we've cracked it.
12K.
Yeah. We've cracked it. The thing is, 8K presentations do exist for stuff, but unless you're going into a theater screen with that, there is no benefit to it. We are topped at 4K. That's it.
That or smell-o-vision becomes real.
Yeah. I will say that adding to that, we're not going to see a format beyond 4K Blu-ray. That is going to be the final format, and that's why when a movie gets announced for 4K, I'm always please be good, because that's the last shot it's got. If the 4K sucks, we're screwed.
All I can think, man, you guys ever been to the pier or those boardwalks with those weird attraction of 5K or no 5D or 8D
yes.
rides or something like that.
And it's they're counting each water effect they're throwing at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost Trains, we haven't gotten to the toy news yet. We're getting there. Yeah. And Hellfire says, how long does it take for Blu-rays to rot compared to DVDs? DVDs can rot within 20 to 30 years. Blu-rays can rot within 100 to 150 years.
Have you experienced
Your
this
Blu-rays will outlast you.
Have you?
Yeah, disc rot
Have you?
on DVDs.
You're asking if I experienced it.
Well,
yeah.
both of you. Both of you.
Yeah.
I have.
I don't think I experienced this rot, but again, I don't really have I don't really have any old DVDs anymore. Most of those I donated at this point, I think. So I can't.
Most of my collection is DVDs still, and my Baki Blu-rays are the biggest victim of that because they're so rare. But disc 5 is rotted.
Oh.
Yeah, that was. I think that was we found out that was a printing error, right? That it was it was printed wrong. Environmental factors are a big thing too. Yeah, like Mucheki mentioned, environmental factors. Yeah, like I haven't gotten anything that hit me with disc rot, but then again, I have not looked at like say my old Batman the Animated Series DVDs, right? Because I've had the Blu-ray, so it's like I haven't looked at the old DVD
I should
copies.
check. I should have those. I should check those. I don't think they'll be that bad, but still, I mean, like that's what I like stuff like video game perfections really because like I think some like ye old like PS1 games are suffering from disc rot, for example, and such like that. So like that's why video game preservation is important.
All right, and then the last piece of Blu-ray news. Speaking of streaming and Blu-ray and preservation, Sonic Prime is getting a complete series steelbook from Encircle, and it'll have the entire series on 3 discs. I looked it up though. We have not gotten an announcement of a single season 3 set though. I thought we had, but it hadn't happened yet.
I'm not too surprised because they did the same with Boom. So
yeah, when they announced the season 1, I think I said I'm just gonna wait. They're gonna do a complete set, and here we are.
I like the artwork. Like this one's like all show renders versus like the Boom set, but still, it looks nice. I like.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well,
I'm just happy it's all in one set, single case, goes on the shelf, nice and easy. You know, it doesn't have to take up a ton of room. So
I mean, it's so funny how like Encircle, which. I don't know what Encircle's range because I heard they're related to Mill Creek, but apparently they're not related.
They're not related to Mill Creek. They're owned by Wild Brain.
Wild Brain, okay. So I mean that's why, which I'm assuming that's why. Like, here's what makes shows like what makes shows available in Blu-ray versus other cartoons, unless it's like a sake of the man thing or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a case of like they don't like we know from there was like an email chain that was shared around. Encircle doesn't consider SD video on Blu-ray to be an option.
Yeah, that might be the case where like.
And so if it's an SD, they're putting it on DVD. If it's an HD, they're putting it on Blu-ray. I think it's just how the company's working.
Which, I'm much
not wrong.
SD
it's just
Blu-ray.
not ideal.
It's not wrong. Yeah, like it's not the wrong dot, but like it's one which the whole SD on Blu-ray was more the norm. But at least. Hey, at least I'm just happy to see like a kids show on Blu-ray for once. This is like, sadly, the rarity.
It is. I will say that, like, in terms of people are saying like, what's the Hellfire said, what's the rate of things escaping Netflix jail? It's just variable depending on who owns it. Sometimes it'll be quick like this. This was pretty quick. Sometimes you're waiting 10 years for Cyborg 009 versus Devilman to get picked up by Discotek.
I think the first seasons that came out during the third batch release. I think.
Yeah, it did. I think it was only like a year later. I think it wasn't that long.
Yeah, so it was pretty quick.
Yeah, and then if it's a Netflix owned show, then it gets messy. Like sometimes they'll exist, sometimes they won't.
Sorry so aka you're a Voltron She-Ra fan.
Well, no, not necessarily. That's actually their own. Those shows are owned by DreamWorks.
Oh yeah, so
the fact they didn't finish those DVD sets is DreamWorks' fault.
because Master. You're right because it is specific DreamWorks. Because Master Universe was Mattel.
Yep.
Was
yeah, both Master of the Universe shows were Mattel. They made sure to sideswipe DreamWorks on it because of how She-Ra, because they didn't own anything on She-Ra at the end of the day, and they didn't like that, so they're like they specifically went Mattel. Yeah, so DreamWorks, as far as I know, Hellfire Voltron's still at DreamWorks because I don't believe it's reverted anywhere because they purchased a long contract on Voltron and Go Line.
They also, I mean, the merch is still coming out. I think I think they just released a Bludgeoning Defender high end figure recently,
and it's still got the DreamWorks logos on it. Also, because if you see a WEP copyright, like a World Events Production, that's still DreamWorks because they bought that company. So they just own everything
Because is Legend Defender off Netflix now? I don't remember.
I heard
'cause
it
I
was
remember.
leaving, and I never went back to check because I don't care about that show.
I'll go check right now. I'll
Yeah,
go check
go
right
give
now.
it a look because I've not looked at that show I've never finished it, and I've never looked back
Because
on it.
I mean, not even to show quality, just like the class again,
Yeah,
preservation.
exactly.
Yep,
Yeah,
it,
I'm like I
yep,
haven't looked at it in a long time.
yep, it's off.
It's
so,
gone. Okay, so you can't watch
uh,
seasons 6 through 8, 5 through 8.
so yeah, so oops,
Yeah,
that's bad. Who knows? They will appear on Tubi one day.
yeah, you never know. Yeah, Legendary Defender.
Voltron, the Third Dimension, that should be owned by DreamWorks, right? I think
It
everything
should be. I
Voltron is
think
owned by
anything
DreamWorks.
Voltron is owned by DreamWorks now. It's just if you never
I
see it again, it's because they just refuse to release it.
I
Like
know what
Voltron Force.
Voltron. No, I think Voltron Force is on YouTube officially.
Yeah, it is. We were talking He-Man as an example of Netflix stuff, Master Ben. All right, let's go to entertainment news. There is a brand new Ghost in the Shell anime. This was announced a little bit ago, but now we have visuals. So Science Saru, who you may know from works like Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
They did Scott Pilgrim, Dan the Dan, Devilman Crybaby.
Yes, and many
Stuff like that.
others. They're doing a new Ghost in the Shell TV anime. So
Duh, Ghost in the Shell.
Yes,
like the Batman.
It's called The Ghost in the Shell. I appreciate that because Ghost in the Shell titles get messy. Like there's Ghost in the Shell, the new movie, which is like the worst title ever. So it's going to be directed by Moko-chan, script by Enjo To, character designs executive animation director Shuhei Hinata, and animation production will be Science Saru. They put out this poster, and Kaus and me probably both had the same reaction of, oh my god, manga Motoko's back.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm not again. You two know Ghost of Shell more than I never actually seen Ghost of Shell. I know of it. It's like that in the anime space.
I have read every manga and I've watched every anime adaptation and I've watched the live action movie a couple times. I am very deep into Ghost in the Shell.
yeah, Ghost of Shell is always a series I always want to.
I'm almost like you. I haven't read all the manga yet.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pull up a context image, but continue.
Yeah, Ghost of Shell is a series I always want to check out, but I was like, I never really got interested into checking out. It's always one of those, I'll get to it one day scenario. Because, like, it's like, it's kind of like my cyberpunk stuff, but, like, it's not my favorite thing ever, so, like, I don't automatically go to it right away. But, like,
cyberpunk media is, like, probably my favorite subgenre. I love it.
I need to get more into it, I think it's the case. But, like, so when I heard about they're making this, and I've heard apparently because as we're gonna talk about, it's actually a lot more based on the manga, this adaptation, and I heard that the manga is a lot more different than like
oh boy is it.
The main like because when you think
so quick example for those on stream, this is what Motoko looks like in the new anime, and this is what she looked like in the manga. Versus how we usually see her in the anime, where she's very much a stern and serious looking character, very kind of like more monotone and this.
Yeah,
but like manga Motoko is a gremlin. She's just a chaos.
Yeah,
I was telling you that earlier.
Yeah, I think that's why I never really got into this because like I like my badass woman, but like I liked in that personality still. And when I hear about that with manga Moko, I was like, oh, like that sounds like a kid I really like.
Yeah.
Then I like my gremlins and such like that. And such like that. So like that they actually go like I was looking who because the manga has been officially out, right?
Kodansha did it. Yeah, I have hardcovers of it. I have hardcovers of the size of an omnibus.
Yeah, because I recently went to Barnes & Noble's over the weekend, and I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it. Sadly, I'm not sure.
They just put out an all-in-one hardcover of the original.
Yes,
manga.
I might grab that then. I might grab it then if that's the case. Because
something I'm hoping to see from this anime is something that they've only touched on in other anime adaptations, and that is the fact that Motoko can switch bodies because she is just the ghost in the shell. Like in the manga, she went through like several different looks and styles in different bodies, and they kind of do that a little bit in the anime. Standalone Complex did some of it, but I'd love to be that like a main feature of like she just should jump bodies because it's a cool thing.
I remember hearing that about it because I remember hearing about that, especially with the live action movie. It's like the whole like I know because that was a controversial thing with Scarlett Johansson playing. But people say
like so. I will say this about the live action movie because I'm not going to sit here and defend the movie because it's not flawless. I've
never seen it, so I don't know what's the quality of it.
The controversy of that movie comes entirely from outside looking in. Because, and again, I'm not gonna like sit here and defend it. I didn't work on it. I don't know what they were thinking. But the way that I took it from the movie was that an Asian woman was put into a white woman's body because the white woman body that was made for her was made by a corporation that was trying to sell the idea of transferring yourself into a body, therefore going into like a commentary on how people see white women as like the pure perfection and anybody else isn't good enough. And so if you're going to manufacture a woman, it would look like a beautiful white woman. The movie didn't lean into that, but that's what I took from it because the way they talked about it, like how this is like a product they were trying to come up with. It was kind of the thing.
I think what you said was probably a lot more dot than I think what they were trying to do.
And that's the thing is, I don't know what I don't know too is because I wasn't in the creative process. I don't know if that's something they actually thought of and were doing intentionally, and then it got cut out by the studio, right? Because it was a Lionsgate movie.
Because that is a good comment. Essentially, that is a good commentary, but I don't trust.
Like I think they had something there, but I have no idea if that was intentional. And so the thing is that, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, she should be played by an Asian woman, and I totally agree. But I you know, there's a level to it that could have been explored, and I don't know if that was their intention and they just didn't get to go through with it all the way, or if that was something that like the studio axed, right? Because I've seen that happen so many times. But I'm not going to just sit here and defend the movie because as it is, it's just a surface level thing you may pick up on if you're looking for it. That being said, people criticizing Scarlett Johansson for her acting in that movie, that's kind of bullshit because, she acted monotone. Have you watched any other Ghost in the Shell? That's kind of how anime Motoko is. She's very monotone. So Scarlett Johansson being monotone is not the problem here.
I think that's.
Well, actually, I know the reason. It's Oshi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I think that's why I never got interested in Ghost in the Shell because Makoto, again, looks cool, badass, and everything. But like, I want my protagonist to have a little more character and such like that.
That's Oshi's thing. If you want to watch an anime to give you an idea of how like the Shiro style actually is, watch Tank Police's anime.
Oh yeah,
that's if you didn't know, Tank Police same creator.
Yeah,
and that's more like the manga than what Ghost in the Shell got.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Plus it had a really cool English opening.
Oh, that's true. That's right. It did have that cool English opening. I'm really excited for this though because I think that, you know, like we're talking, there's kind of this dichotomy between the original manga style of Ghost in the Shell versus the established anime version because that first film was so influential, right? So, like for me, who likes both, I'm just stoked that we're getting more of the manga style because that's been, you know, so underused.
And especially Sign Saru, like I totally have faith they can do this very well because
they're
really
nobody matches an art style better than Science Saru because like watching Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was like watching the comic just continuing in front of me, like without
Scott Pilgrim, Scott Pilgrim, Dan, both of them they really captured captured the feel of the original source material and like essentially
because like watching Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, I was like, was this hand animated by Brian Lee O'Malley? This looks just exactly like his art style.
Like, and like, you look at this poster, like, I can really see signs that are going really heavy on that, like, that late 80s, early 90s, bubblegum crisis feeling style, which I think is the style, it feels like that's the style what this is going to take, which I think...
And actually, it's a good comparison, is that the original Ghost of the Shell manga is more like bubblegum crisis than, Wouldn't you agree, Jerry, that bubblegum crisis is a better tone match to the manga than the actual Ghost of the Shell anime?
In a lot of ways, because, like I said, Oshii liked doing what he did. He had this thing called, what's it called? The Kerbero Saga with Jinro. He basically turned everything into that.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He basically takes a work and then fits it for his style as opposed to adjusting his style for the work.
Mm-hmm. He does that. He did that all the time.
It is funny because I just look at manga Motoko and I'm just getting very Rumiko vibes of like Rama and such like that. It has that same energy as her works and such, right, Jerry?
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. That's a good point. Benjamin Wiseman said, Scarlett Johansson's monotone in pretty much all of her movies, not necessarily because of her acting, but she's typecast as a despondent women. Yeah, that happens all the time to her. She gets stuck as like the monotone, like serious one. Because she's a really good actor, and it's really frustrating to see her always get stuck in roles where she doesn't get to emote. Because like anytime you see like if you see Scarlett Johansson on SNL, you're like, oh, she has incredible range, but then like nobody ever lets her use it. That's why I'm
funny
looking
because
forward to this Jurassic movie she's in, because I think she's actually going to get to do stuff.
It's funny because like when I think of Scarlett Johansson and like stuff that like when I think of her when
Mhm.
outside of like say Black Widow and such, I think of the SpongeBob movie when she plays Mindy,
Yeah.
which is like because I remember as a kid when I look at the behind the scenes, I saw Scarlett Johansson like wait, that was her because
Hmm.
her character was peppy and not
Yeah.
again it was like I mean that was before she like really blew up so like that's the classic case of when the actor started out they were a lot different before they got typecast scenario and such.
Yeah, and I think that, and also you can tell that Scarlett Johansson's got acting range. She was in, wasn't she in Transformers 1? And you like hardly even
Yes,
realized.
yeah, she's the lead one. Like I
Yeah.
see, yeah, she was real great in that role. Like she pretty much become my de facto voice for the character,
Mm.
like reading especially Skybound and such like that.
Last thing on Ghost in the Shell before we move on. Um, the thing I like the most about the live action Ghost in the Shell movie is the absolute best part about it is the fact that Beat Takeshi was Aramaki. And he was like so off of like how Aramaki is in other versions, but Beat Takeshi is such a great actor and like such a legend of Japanese cinema. To put him in that movie was just such a cool choice, and I really liked it, and I appreciated that they did that because that took like extra, not just let's just cast Hollywood types or like let's cast somebody who would really fit the role. I thought he did a good job. And it was also funny because he spoke Japanese the entire time and everybody else spoke English. But it's like, oh, it's a cyberpunk world. Everyone's got cyber brains. It just got automatic translators.
Well, that explains Tekken then.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody in Tekken has a cyber brain, right? That's how everyone knows.
Apparently.
Everyone shacks.
It was like when I was watching Super Cop and like Jackie Chan's girlfriend in the movie May, she's like working in Malaysia as a tour guide, and she's like talking to like the other woman she's working with who's like an American, and they're speaking English, and then they have this like important like plot scene. So May is speaking Cantonese, and it's like, so does her like American friend also know Cantonese but just can't speak it?
It was similar to when I was watching Karate Kid too. It's like, man, every person in Okinawa can understand Daniel so well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right, let's get to the comic book news. Here's the big news. We're gonna start with the big news of the week, just because, let's get to it. A Transformers Kickstarter launched and has made $2.5 million already.
How fast was it? Because I remember G.I. Joe was like instant funded in like 24 minutes or something like that.
G.I. Joe was funded in 24 minutes. Transformers was funded in 2.
Oh.
So this still has 22 days to go, but what we're looking at is 2 different editions of the Transformers Marvel comic. You can either get a set, you can either get the US edition of the comic, which is the 80 issues plus the supplemental stuff, or the UK edition, which is just the unique UK stories, or you can get a set that strings it all together as one ongoing continuity.
Like, wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm curious how they did that because curious how they did that.
It's a bit of a mess, and people aren't 100% sold on the mapping yet, but they're tweaking the mapping. They said that things aren't final for the contents yet, but like everything's going to be included. So the way it's going to work is essentially like the G.I. Joe set. The US and UK compendiums are hardcover editions of the books that'll be available at retail and paperback. But the Till All Are One compendium set that strings it all together is exclusive to the Kickstarter. Which makes sense, because you don't want competing versions on the shelves in bookshelves. It would just kind of be confusing, right?
So, because I understand, so for the US, it's 2 volumes, right?
Yes.
Or is it
2
and
volumes
the
US,
UK
2 volumes UK.
Okay.
Or
And
4 volumes for all of it strung together.
Mhm.
So just like with the G.I. Joe, there's an Autobot and a Decepticon edition. So let's go through each edition first, because they have like 12 possible books here. This is bonkers, guys. So US Compendium 1 and Compendium 2 in hardcover. I like these covers where it's like Optimus and Megatron shooting at each other from across the way, so they kind of match up. Kind of neat. So US Compendium 1 is going to have Transformers 1 to 46 and Headmasters 1 to 4. And US Compendium 2 is going to have Transformers 47 to 80, Transformers the movie 1 to 3, and Transformers G2 1 through 12. So there is a bit of a minor thing. The Transformers vs. G.I. Joe crossover that's included in the G.I. Joe volumes is not here. The Transformers G2 lead-in issues of the G.I. Joe comic are not here. And the reason why is because the page counts on both of these got maxed out. There was no room to add those. And since they're available in the G.I. Joe volumes, they decided it was going to be okay to do it that way.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. It's not too egregious. I like that they were like, we just didn't have the page count for it. It wasn't like they left it out for some other weird reason. They were just like, we're just, there's a certain
Ran out of
level.
space.
There's a
Ran
certain
out of
level where
space.
that binding breaks, right? You can't shove
Yep.
pages in forever. So, I think it's pretty good. So those are going to be the same two. This is going to be the contents of the 2 volumes when they hit retail. I think Compendium 1's out in June, so it's like really soon. So that's going to be that. Now for the UK compendiums, Compendium 1 is going to contain all of the stuff you see on screen, because I ain't reading all that out, which is all the unique stories from the UK series, and then Compendium 2 is going to contain the rest of it. Now, in terms of reading orders, that does make it a little messy, because basically the Marvel UK comic they would reprint some issues of the US comic, then they would print their own stories, and then some US issues, and then some own stories. So you could read the entire US series without reading the UK, but you can't really read the UK without reading the US series, if that makes sense. Now, if you're wanting to just get the UK compendiums, because say, for example, you got the IDW printings of the US series, which these are going to be the same scans. They said they're doing some tweaks here and there, but they're mostly the same scans. It's just what's available to them.
It's a classic case. They just work with what they have, pretty
Yeah,
much.
they gotta work with what they got. So with the UK compendiums, IDW never finished printing the UK stuff, so that might be something you're looking for. Now, it does, the US compendium does have G2, which IDW never reprinted, but some people may be like, I don't need G2, which is valid. Now, for the All R1 edition, which is going to be exclusive to the Kickstarter.
These don't have Regeneration 1, right?
No, no Regeneration 1. It's only stuff published by Marvel. I believe that's a licensing thing. Because we've never seen... IDW never did it, and we didn't see it with Skybound. We've never seen IDW continuations of Marvel stuff put with the Marvel stuff. So, Regeneration 1, the Secrets and Lies stuff, not here. Just like there wasn't more issues of G.I. Joe during the Larry Hama years. They did say they do want to do more Transformers and G.I. Joe comic reprints for IDW, so I would not be surprised if they do Regeneration 1 as the one big volume.
Because they've done reprints already. Because the Page Punchers of the Transformers and G.I. Joe, those are IDW books in them, right?
Yep. And so they've already done that. They have the license to do it. It's just a matter of figuring out format and spacing it out. They said they don't want to do more than one of these a year for these big Kickstarters, because they know people...
Fair money.
Yeah, people would not be able to afford it if they did more than one a year. I do see the next Kickstarter, because these obviously they're going to keep doing them. They're pulling in like $3 million of Kickstarter for comics. I do see the next Kickstarter being G.I. Joe 156 to 300, right? Like the IDW years is probably the next one. And then maybe they'll do like, the IDW. I'm not exactly sure, like, because if you add all the stuff Simon Furman did as a continuation of the Marvel stuff, that could just be one volume. So I can see that happening.
So,
yes, that's right, Hellfire. They did allude that Dreamwave might have an issue with rights. So don't be holding your breath for Dreamwave.
Question about because you read the Beast Wars IDW comic, right?
Yes.
How many issues did that last for? Before they lost
18 in an annual.
Would that be would they release that as a compendium?
I think they would. I would also, if I was them, I would put in all the earlier IDW Beast Wars stuff. Just make it a Beast Wars compendium that has Gathering, whatever the Gathering, the source book, like all that, or that Beast Wars stuff from like early in IDW's life, plus the other series. Just smush them together, make it a Beast Wars volume. That'd be like the simplest way, I think.
Because was there mini comics for Beast Wars when the toy line came out, or no? I forget.
I think there was a comic with the Optimus and Megatron 2-pack.
I'm curious if they legally could put that in, because I would love they put that in.
I would love it if they could. I mean, they pulled other things. They were able to reprint some stuff for G.I. Joe that IDW was never allowed to. So there might be some options there. And so for anyone wondering the breakdown for the All R1 edition, which the 2 covers, the contents are the same, the Autobot and the Decepticon, you're just picking which covers you want. So Compendium 1...
What side are you picking?
I went with the Decepticon side because I thought, I already got a Cobra box set for G.I. Joe that's red. I should go for a different color. So I went Decepticon. Also, I just like bad guys from these 80s cartoons. So, and I just did the All R1. I'm not doing the separate US-UK compendiums. If I want to just read the US series, I have the IDW versions that I can just read straight. But for me, I'm like, the next time I'm going to read this is when the set shows up. I want to read it all because I've never read the UK stuff. Hellfire says I like to call it the So All Are One edition, the actual UK version. Yeah, I kind of like to call it that too, because
the British version, the British
the
version.
British version. Also welcome Sentai Ranger Donnie. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, the volume 1 contains Transformers 1 to 23, UK 9 to 88. Let's just simplify and say that the movie adaptation and stories from the UK annuals. It's just going to splice it all together. They're going to try to they're trying to make it as smooth as possible. Compendium 2 will be Transformers 24 through 41 and UK 93 to 173. Plus, this is the part I do appreciate, G.I. Joe and the Transformers 1 to 4 will be inserted where it fits in the timeline. And also Action Force 24 to 27, which is nice because I think that's something that could have gotten lost too because we've never gotten any Action Force reprints. But that was an Action Force Transformers crossover from the UK side. So that's included. Headmasters miniseries as well. Compendium 3 is, you notice that like it skips over issue 43 of Transformers. That was a reprint of UK 181 and 180, which they're including the UK versions because the UK versions contain more pages to like frame the story. Because issue 43 on its own is just an adaptation of one of the TV show episodes, but the UK comic put in explanations for it, so they're choosing to do the UK version there. And then Compendium 4 contains the rest of the series for US UK. It contains G.I. Joe 138 to 142, as well as Generation 2 1 to 12, the UK Generation 2 comic. And then some people had a problem with this not being in the main compendiums, but again, page count. The Transformers Universe Profile series will also be included here. And the reason why they could do it here and include all this stuff is because when you can just keep running through a set of 4 books, you can fit more in than having to like make, specifically US 1 and 2, UK 1 and 2. So if you want absolutely everything, the Till All Are One box set is going to be the thing you want. Because it's going to have everything. Without duplicating, which is nice.
It makes me curious. Is there any legal kerfuffles to try and release stuff like from FunPub for like the Transformers BotCon stuff? You think there's some legal nightmares for those to release?
If there's a possible legal issue with Dreamwave, there might be a possible legal issue with FunPub. And it's not necessarily that Hasbro wouldn't own the rights to it, but it might be more of a Archie Sonic type situation with some of the people involved in making them. So yeah. Astrodat says, "Did they sell omnibus lap stands? Do I have to be hunched over my table or desk to read these?" They don't sell omnibus lap stands, but if someone wants to get on that, I would totally buy one. My solution
they need to be like made out of the strongest material in the world.
Yes, but like because like how they have those like lap trays for like people that are like people in bed, like it's like a say you have like breakfast in bed, but it's like a lap tray and it's got like a pillow underneath and it's like a tray and it just kind of sits on your lap. Using one of those would be good.
I always see this in Barnes Nobles.
Yeah, those are pretty good. My solution for me, this is what works for me, is I have 2 like throw pillows, and I just put those 2 throw pillows, like I put one on each side of my lap, and I put the book in the middle, so that way I'm not bending the spine too much, and it's just got kind of like this nice divot.
The most hardest thing about reading physical books, your posture.
Posture, exactly. But basically, I kind of sit like I'll have like my knees up, I'll have like the pillows sitting there, I'll have the book sitting there. I'm usually pretty cozy reading it that way. If it's a book like this Daredevil omnibus isn't that thick, I'll tend to just hold it by the spine and just read it like this for a little bit. Or I'll just kind of like rest my arm down and I'll just kind of like hold it while I'm resting.
The next gate, it's like super ripped arms out of nowhere. Where you get so fit set up?
Legitimately, I do more exercise moving books than I do like any other day. So
it's that classical gag. Right. Where do you go to the gym? The library? Yes, actually.
Yes, actually, yeah. You should see my collection of 1,500-page omnibuses. Like, for these compendiums with the G.I. Joe ones, and because of the same design, they have a flat spine, right? So like with Daredevil, I have to kind of take care because it has a curved spine and I could like crush it, right, if I put it against something. But with these having flat spines, they open up really easy. So I do kind of prefer the flat spine on books. So they're not too hard to read. And also because of the paper stock they use, which is really good on these, it's lightweight, so it doesn't weigh as much as like some other books.
You say that, all I can imagine is a Omni that's has the
I was worried the paperback GI Joe Compendium was going to be like the Viz 3-in-1 spells. I'm glad to see it's not. Like I've gotten to handle one of them in person. I'm like, oh, this is actually good. It's solid. It just throws you off because you pick it up and it's way lighter than you think it would be.
Yeah, because imagine if that was the case. I think it would literally get destroyed
Yeah.
in the factory if that was the case.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I remember when they were like, we're going to print it on newsprint. And everyone's like, what? And then it's like, no, it's actually like sturdy, like matte style paper. It's like newsprint style, but it's not the Bible paper that Viz uses.
Yep.
So anyways, finishing this up, the artwork on the box sets are good. So basically, if you only back the US or UK compendiums, you don't get a box to put them in. But if you back the Tall R1, you get a box to put them in, which is interesting. So the box art, though, is Danny Warren Johnson did the artwork on the boxes.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is really cool. So the Autobot one has, of course, Optimus on one side and the Autobots on another, and he snuck Defensor in like he's an important character, which I think is fun.
That tells me that Daniel Warner's like, I like Defensor, damn, I'm gonna put him on there.
Yeah. So that's the artwork there, and then Mike Spicer's the other artist on these. It's Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer, and then we got Megatron with his black bucket helmet, which is great, and then and then it's got him and the Decepticons, including like Devastator.
I want to see Danny Warren Johnson or Mike Spicer draw the horrible Megatron Ratchet kill
Fusion.
me.
Yeah.
Fusion. In your style, because that seems up their alley.
That would be really fun, honestly. So then adding to this, just like with the G.I. Joe thing, you get there's trading cards, but these are tech spec cards, like the old school like bio cards. You get Optimus, Bumblebee, Grimlock, Ironhide, Jazz, Mirage if you buy the Autobot set. And there's going to be 3 more drawn by Jorge Corona, Andrew Wildman, and Jeff Sr. They're being voted on, which they put out a poll. The poll annoys me, and this is just me being a picky bitch. The poll wouldn't let me vote for Thunderwing or Nightbeat or any of those like late G1 guys that are really important in the comics.
No car wash of doom.
Rat-Bat's available, but not Thunderwing.
Good.
And so that was like, I was like, I don't get to pick Thunderwing or Nightbeat. And then welcome Beastslayer. And then like I was able to vote for like Blaster though, at least, and like Rat-Bat, but I was like, I feel like I missed out on like some of the iconic characters. Like I think I voted for Fort Max. But some of the characters from the later run, I was like, why aren't these on here? Like the G.I. Joe ones went really deep. Why are these so surface level? But anyways, so it's gonna be kind of neat. They're also gonna include the decoder for these. Decepticon set is Megatron, Devastator, Laserbeak, Shockwave, Soundwave, and Starscream, as well as 3 more by the same artists. And then if you sign up for their newsletter, or if you've backed a previous campaign of theirs, you get a Jetfire card for free. So that newsletter sign up is like free and it's easy to apply. So I would recommend just signing up for the newsletter. Get your free Jetfire card. They had some signed editions, but they went quick. And they were signed by Simon Furman and Bob Budiansky. And so basically the tiers go as such, just so everybody knows. You can get a digital edition of the US for $60, a digital edition of the UK for $60, a digital edition of both for $120. You can get the US Compendium set for $150, the UK Compendium set for $150, the US and UK Compendium set for $300 with the Autobot cards included for free, or the US and UK Compendium for $300 with the Decepticon cards included for free. There also is the To All R1 edition in Autobot, that's $300. The To All R1 edition in Decepticon, which is $300. The To All R1 Autobot and Decepticon edition, which are calling the Jetfire tier, which is clever. That one is $600, and you get the Autobot and Decepticon cards and stretch goals. So it's kind of like both editions. There's also a set, which is a $600 tier. You get the To All R1 plus the UK and UK Compendium, but it's the To All R1 and Autobot. And then there's another set that's To All R1 and Decepticon plus the UK and US and UK Compendiums. And then there's the Unicron tier if you want to drop 900 bones on all this, which is To All R1 and Autobot Decepticon, US and UK, both sets of cards, PDFs of everything, and all the stretch goals. And then there also was like a signed version of that for those people. So, stretch goals wise, they've been blowing through them. So, all the box sets are going to have spot gloss on them. There's going to be a double-sided bookmark added to all physical pledges, ribbon bookmarks added to all books. There is now the fold-out poster of Megatron is going to be in Volume 1, Optimus poster is in volume 2, so if you don't want to buy both editions, you'll still get the artwork of the opposite box set just as posters, which is really cool.
They did that with the G.I. Joe one, right?
Yeah, they did that with the G.I. Joe one as well, which is really awesome. There's going to be an Autobot the Autobot sticker for Autobot pledges, Decepticon sticker for Decepticon pledges, a 5x7 Grimlock lenticular print coming with all physical pledges, an Autobot patch for Autobot, Decepticon patch for Decepticons. They've added foil to the spine and covers. They've now added the Autobot poster to All R1 Compendium 3, the Decepticon poster for All R1 Compendium 4, and then all 4 fold-out posters will also be in the US and UK editions. So you can get those posters like in any version, basically. They've also added gilded edges to the compendiums that have an Energon blue glow. And the next goal at 2,600,000 will be a 1.5-inch enamel pin of the Autobot or Decepticon logos. And then they got a bunch more planned. So they've just been blowing through them.
I like the way they talk about the gilded edge. It sounds like a snack.
Right.
Energetic gilded glow flavor or something like that.
Yeah, I like the glow, like the Energon glow versus the G.I. Joe where it was like
red.
It was red, blue, silver, or gold, depending on which volume it was. Because it looked really nice on some of the covers, but not others. I think the blue glow across all of it, that works for me.
I mean, is that or hot pink?
Yeah,
the cartoon colors.
So I like the way that looks. Now, if you're somebody like me buying one box set, so I'm buying the Decepticon set, but you still want to get some of the other stuff that's offered to the Autobot sets, they have add-ons. So if you want to just throw in the UK compendiums or the US compendiums or a whole box set. So for example, what I'm doing is I've got a Decepticon box set, and so I added the tech spec card set for the Autobots, right? So I can just add that on. I'm going to add on an Autobot sticker, and I added on an Autobot patch. And so, when they do the enamel pins, I'll add on the Autobot one, because you automatically get the rewards that match whichever faction you've chosen for the All R1 box sets. And then for shipping, here's the guide to shipping. And if you're in the US and you're buying all 12 books, your $900 pledge needs to be $1,050.
Are these tariff, do they already put the tariff costs already on these?
So they've said that basically once the Kickstarter closes, some Kickstarters, they'll collect shipping after the campaign is over, but they said we're collecting shipping now so we don't have to charge you more later.
All right, that's good.
They're like, let's lock the price, let's get the money, because I think once they lock it, they get something. I don't know exactly how all it works. That's not important to me. They're just saying we're going to lock the price so that way we don't have an issue later.
That's good. I'm glad they thought about that.
Yeah. So we'll see how all this shakes out. Blader says, you think at some point with all the stretch goals, they add a small 5th book with the missing G.I. Joe comics. I would like to see that, like a G.I. Joe companion volume for those that are doing the US or UK. And maybe it's not just included free, but it's just an optional add-on, right? So I think that'd be neat. But yeah, it looks like a good campaign. There's always some weirdness when it comes to doing this stuff. I know some people had critiques of the mapping. They're listening. So if you have comments for them, they have 1,200 comments and counting. So if you want to ask them a question about stuff, just throw it in the comments. They're pretty receptive, and they are listening to feedback on mapping.
Just be nice.
Be nice about it. Yeah, if you're going to be a dick about it, they're not going to do anything for you. But yeah, good stuff. I'm excited. I got my pledge in. They said they're supposed to ship by December, and they nailed that with G.I. Joe last year, so I could see that happening again. Of course, shipping logistics, is going to be tricky when you're having that many 1,200 plus page books. So, yeah, I think that's about it, though. I think we covered it. We'll keep an update. We'll keep an eye on this every week.
So instead of Transformers Week Watch, it's Transformers Comic Watch.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I think they're gonna pass G.I. Joe's. G.I. Joe did 3.7 million at the end of its campaign. I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass that at this rate.
I mean, hey, your G.I. Joe comic unboxing one of the best performing G.I. Joe videos on the channel.
It is the best G.I. Joe, best performing G.I. Joe video on the channel. Is the comic unboxing. I'm definitely going to do a video on this. Hellfire already said he's going to send me pictures of his Autobot set when he gets it, so that way I can compare in the video. Be like, this is what the Autobot set looks like. So
Guilty Autobot scum.
Yeah, so it'll be fun to do it that way. Yeah, Collector K9 mentioned, I believe the issue with Dreamwave is that Hasbro wants to avoid potentially stirring the pot with the fact that Dreamwave didn't pay its employees for the last few months of its operation. Yeah, I think that
Yep.
might be the big reason why they don't want to touch it. Don't open old
Dreamwave.
wounds.
Dreamwave is such a fascinating company.
Yes.
Put it lightly.
I mean, because we never, I think we didn't talk about it last week, but like, 'cause it's similar. Why because Uon's re-releasing the Archie Mega Man series, which is great to see. But you know, the problem is they can't touch the Sonic stuff because penders.
Yep.
You know those post penders, but still, like they just can't touch it, and it's kind of unfortunate for that case scenario because the Sonic crossover is actually canon to the Archie Mega Man run, so that's kind of a giant hole, giant hole in the story right
That
there.
sucks.
It does, and I get it because like if you're a company releasing stuff and you have somebody that's trigger happy with lawsuits, you don't want to do anything to set them off.
And that's what you think, because the Archie Mega Man stuff that was post penders, but I think it just Sega just wants to bury Archie Sonic.
Because the thing is, they know as soon as they start to do anything with Archie Sonic, he's gonna pop his head in and claim he owns it.
Even though that was post his era.
Exactly. Even if it's post his era, they just know that he's a volatile enough person that has lawyer money that he's just gonna cause a problem for him. It's not worth the hassle. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth them spending the money to fight him in court over things that they could win the case, but like it's just gonna go like, oh, he's gonna if they win the case, then he's gonna go to appeals, and then he's gonna go to appeals, and that just it's a ton of time and money for what old comics that fans can find online at this point.
Yep.
They're not gonna make their money back in the comic reprint sales to deal with all that headache.
They Dreamwave, because if I think of Dreamwave, because I remember they did a Mega Man comic,
Yes.
but they also were gonna do other Capcom comics. There was a Devil May Cry comic. I think was there a Darkstalkers comic that actually came out or no?
It actually came out, but I think it got canceled like partway through.
Because the company got shut down. Well,
Yeah.
do you ever read that? Was that any good?
I've never read it. I've just never.
I'm surprised.
A lot of Dreamwave stuff isn't good, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was trash. But
it just Darkstalker fans, we take we take any lickings of content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Spin Dash. It's none of the Super
like Spin Dash just added. Yeah, Sega wants to bury it on both fronts, right? Like it's just if you don't touch the subject, you'll never have to deal with that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right. So Marvel giveth and Marvel taketh away. So the Werewolf by Night comic that's been running, it was an ongoing, but of course it ended at issue 10 because anything that's not X-Men or Spider-Man that's an ongoing is dead after 10 issues.
How was that run?
I loved it.
Really,
it was great.
Oh,
it was just getting going, and then it got axed at the knees, just like every Marvel comic of the last 5 years that I enjoyed.
If it's good, it dies.
Yes.
I have a feeling. I didn't hate the first issue at all, but I just didn't get into it.
Yeah.
I actually preferred I actually like the blood hunt Werewolf by Night.
Blood hunt sounds great.
Yeah, because I didn't know there was actually a second Werewolf by Night.
Yes.
So like I just really like what's his name?
Jake Gomez.
Oh, yeah, I just like Jay Gomez more. I like his character a lot.
They brought him back into the Werewolf by Night, like after they did in the second arc of the Werewolf by Night comic. They brought Jay Gomez in to team up with Jack Russell. It's great. They also brought Reptile in from Superhero Squad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I love that. I was like, it was like the first arc. I was like, okay, this is kind of usual Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone stuff. This is great. Like we're building to something. And then like arc 2's like Lilith's the main villain. Here's Reptile. Here's Jake Gomez, and and I was like, this is fantastic. And why is this canceled now? Like it was just getting great.
Man, I might pick up because I didn't hate the.
And then they're taking forever for the trades. Like the first trade's not out till September.
Of course.
Good Lord.
Why is Image the only company that releases their trades on time?
I have no idea. At least it's not Dynamite, okay? At least it's not Dynamite. They're releasing Gargoyles volumes out of order now.
It's Epic. They think it's Epic Collections?
I don't know. Like they kept delaying Volume 2 of Gargoyles so much that Gargoyles Quest is coming out, which is the sequel. It's like what? Anyways, going back to also the thing with the Werewolf by Night, that Blood Hunt one shot is going to be included in the trades for the rest of the series, which is great because it's a great lead-in. You should also check out the original Jake Gomez Werewolf by Night miniseries. I love the angle they give him with that character is that like Jack Russell's way of dealing with his werewolf curse is to lock himself away once a month when the full moon's out. And then it never works out. The Gomez approach is that he has a playlist of music that keeps him focused when he's in werewolf
Yeah, I
form, so
like
he
that.
knows what's
I like
going
that a
on.
lot.
Ah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. He pops his earbuds in and he's like, okay, yeah, no, the werewolf part's coming, but like I can control myself if I focus on my music, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
I always love. I always love monster like transformation stories where they can control it. They use it. I always love those kind of stories.
So, anyways, the Werewolf by Night comic by Jason Liu is ending, which is sad. But Michael Giacchino, superstar composer and director of the Werewolf by Night TV special, is writing a one-shot called Werewolf by Night: Blood Moon Rise with David Messina on art. And this is Tyler Kirkham on the cover. This is coming out in July. Sign me the hell up! Like you couldn't sell me on this anymore. I mean, you already sell me on it because it says Werewolf by Night on the cover. But like it also to be written by Giacchino is great.
The Man movies. The question I have is: does anyone know if there's any creator of the Creatures Commandos or Age of Shade God Collected Epics or something? I don't think
There is Frankenstein. I think it's like Frankenstein Agents of Shade book 1 and 2 that collects all of Frankenstein's solo appearances. That's like the closest we've gotten to a good Creature Commandos collection. There is a trade they put out when they announced the show that was like the original like Keith Giffen era stuff. But that's about it because they're not a super published team. But those 3 books will probably get you most of what anything that book's going to get you like most of their run. Because between those 2 Frankenstein volumes is the entire like New 52 series, plus all the stuff that came before and after. So anyways, this is going to be cool because it's going to not just contain the storyline where the Giacchino story is writing, which is Werewolf by Night fighting Dracula. I don't need to be sold on this anymore, but we're going to keep going. Jason Liu's also going to be writing a backup story that kind of, I imagine, is going to be like an epilogue to his series. So
that's good to hear.
Yeah. It's yeah, you can sign me up for this. I'll probably buy. I feel like this is going to be like the Robbie Reyes special where I buy all the variant covers.
How come Jacob and Robbie never team up?
Because Marvel hates me and doesn't want to give me what I want. If I had one complaint about the Marvel Voices Comunidades specials, is that they put a bunch of Hispanic and Latino like characters into one issue, but they're all in like individual like standalone stories, and they're not like all teaming up together.
I know, right?
So, all right. Speaking of Marvel and team up and crossovers, after having several one-shots, Godzilla's just going to wreck the entire Marvel universe now. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe is going to be a 5-issue miniseries starting in July. It's going to be Jerry Duggan on writing and Javier Garron on artwork. And it is going to be like Godzilla's just going to go up against everybody. We know he's not going to lose because Toho has dumb rules, but he should.
No, like all I want is Dum Dum Guggen and Godzilla finally have their rematch.
They
finally.
need it, yeah. I haven't been reading the other one-shots they've done prior to this. I was like waiting for a trade, but I was like, why is the trade taking so long? And then I looked at this, I was like, oh, they're going to put all of them into one. It's probably going to be like a gallery edition hardcover at this point, but they're probably going to put all of the Godzilla Marvel crossovers into like one volume.
Yeah, instead of like I just think of like DC's handling the MonsterVerse while Marvel's handling the Toho. So I'm thinking the next like DC Marvel crossover. They go like, you guys have a Godzilla too? Yeah, but ours is a bit weirder.
Ours is always followed around by this giant monkey.
Yeah.
All right. The at C2E2, the Massiveverse had a panel, which was basically kind of just like a kind of recap of current things going on in the Massiveverse. So shout out to the Massiveverse team. So Radiant Black 31, 32, 33 as a crossover with the Rogue Sun, 34 and 35. And then leading into 36 is like our first arc of the new rebuild era, and 36 is going to be a issue focused on Radiant Yellow. We haven't had one of those in a little bit, so that's pretty cool. So that's going to be pretty exciting. There's some good stuff going up there. They said that issue 36 will be tied to Radiant Yellow, just like issue 18, which dealt with timelines 18 years apart. So it's going to be like a multi-timeline issue again. Because Radiant Yellow's whole thing is he can see all timelines and jump between them. So they're going to do that again. Yeah, you can see the future, the past, and the present all at once. Kiefer Martin said Rogue about to touch Godzilla's fingernail and start breathing atomic waste.
I want that. I want to see that.
There's this one artist on Blue Sky. He drew this one comic one time, and it's like it's Rogue, and she's got like a bunch of eyes, and she's blasting like Cyclops' optic blast, and she's like, "Everybody run! I touched Cyclops and Eye Boy at the same time."
Oh boy.
All right, so Radiant Black Volume 7 is going to contain issue 31 through 36, and this is the cover for it. I love the consistency with the Radiant Black trade covers all being like him flying in the middle of the page, and then adds other characters back and forth between them. The Radiant Black audiobook update, they announced Ross Marquand as the Black Colossal, which is the giant robot that talks to the Radiants. That you may know him as playing Professor X in X-Men 97 most recently.
Oh, that's nice.
So he's pretty cool. They've been recording stuff for it, so it's not quite ready to go, but they're still working on it. Rogue Sun issues 26 to 29. There's going to be a team up with Radiant Black, just like there's a team up with, Rogue Sun's popping over to Radiant Black's popping over to Rogue Sun in issue 26. And then issue 27, 28, stuff happening. This is a great series. Both Rogue Sun and Radiant Black are just really stellar books. All right, Infernal Girl Red Volume 2 update. This was on Kickstarter, so they're still producing it. The book is at the printers. The team is trying to navigate the whole tariff situation. They also announced there's not going to be a super massive crossover issue this year like they have been in the last several years, because they want to make sure that Radiant Black and Rogue Sun maintain their regular monthly schedule, because they slipped a lot last year, so they want to keep it on monthly this year. But if you are wanting to catch up on the crossovers, they're doing a supermassive 2022 to 2024 trade paperback, which is coming out this month, so that's pretty cool. All right. And then the other thing they announced was that they're doing a Batman comic. Immortal Legend Batman.
The whole Massiverse Batman.
Massiverse Batman. So this was great, because this wasn't announced at a DC panel. This was announced at the Massiverse panel. It is going to be a new Elseworlds limited series, Immortal Legend Batman, which is going to be co-written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, with art by Dan Mora and Erica DeRusso. So it's basically all the people that have worked on Massiverse.
Yep.
As Spider's probably said, Toku Batman. Yeah. This
I
has
was
been,
just gonna say, he looks so Toku.
Yeah, this has been something that Dan Mora's had like in concept. There's some fan art that Dan Mora did.
He drew a lot of Tokusatsu inspired Batman a lot, I remember, and they were great. Yep. They're not the same designs, which I'm glad, but God, I love these designs.
Similar vibe, right?
They're so cool.
They look so damn cool. So what's really great is that they are, specifically Tokusatsu inspired. And so it's using everything they've been doing in the Massiverse, which is also very Toku inspired, and now they're going to be doing a Batman comic. Comes out in August. The premise is amazing. This is the kind of Elseworlds I'm looking for. Many centuries from now, humanity becomes a galactic civilization with capital megacities on multiple planets and smaller outposts on dozens more. To conquer the vast distances between the solar systems, humanity tapped into a dark matter to bend space-time around a spacecraft, from hulking colony vessels to one-man mech suits. In accessing this dark power, humanity broke the barrier between their universe and their universe's shadow. This resulted in the creation of shadows, mindless, soulless apparitions craving nothing but violence and destruction. Due to the actions of these shadow creatures, newly colonized worlds were brought to the brink of collapse. But three warriors found a way to access the energy that bound their universes to the shadow universe, becoming immortal legends: Batman, Robin, and Nightwing. That is such a Tokusatsu-ass premise.
What I like about it didn't at least so far this part doesn't sound like, oh, it's Bruce like Batman, but with a spin. It sounds like it just its own unique thing, which is with Batman aesthetics.
And I like that, and I kind of like it's got kind of a bit of a Legion of Superheroes vibe, where it's like, oh, they know of the past heroes, but they're so far removed from them, they kind of want to emulate them, kind of thing. But I really like it. I really like it.
Can we have this instead of what Batman versus Yakuza League? I mentioned for this, or Suicide Squad Isekai. I mentioned for something like this than those two. Honestly.
Yeah, I like this because it's unique and different. It's not just what if Batman in this setting. It's like, here's a completely new thing.
It's funny because with
Batman,
that's
pretty cool.
I have no interest in Batman versus Yakuza League, but you ever seen that promo? Mm-hmm. That promo video of it's the Bat family, but it's an old 70s mecha.
Yes, anime. That was fun.
I wish that was I was like, why couldn't this be the movie?
Yeah, that was definitely I think that's what the team wanted to do, because they made that as for fun, and I think that's what the team wanted to do, was something like that. And then the studio and Warner Brothers were like, "No, you got to do this instead."
Mm-hmm.
Blade Raider said, "If Batman and Robin and Nightwing are aliens, has the most Toei Spider-Man energy." Yeah, I think it's actually kind of a cool
I
comparison.
think
I didn't really pick that up on that.
that's probably the idea where
Yeah,
it's Batman looks and design only
yeah.
at this point.
It's gonna be a 5-issue miniseries. I'm probably gonna pick this up like as it comes out.
I think they said in the script that more characters would join the team. So like, come on,
Yes.
guys, I want our Batgirl like trio. We have our Batmen trio. Where's our Batgirl trio? Then you have the rival Red Hood. that
Yeah, I think
challenges them.
there's so many options here, right? Like the rival that joins the team later with Red Hood.
Yes, I
Um,
want that.
yeah, I'm very excited for this. I'm probably gonna pick this up in singles and then also in trade because I'm so happy, and I love that it's the Massiveverse creative team, and they're just doing a Batman book. Like that is such a great thing, and also just shows how not only the
Oh
great
yeah,
talent that those artists have, but also for the fact that they are getting enough notoriety that's like a selling point, that it's like the Massiveverse team doing a Batman book.
speaking, I'm gonna take a mention. Have you seen the new Toei Spider-Man design
Yeah, I saw
coming?
that. I thought it was interesting that they.
I really like it. I really like the
Yeah,
redesign. It actually looks like a Heisei era Toei
I
Spider-Man.
haven't seen that. Oh,
I need to
yeah. Go
find it.
go Google it. I know it's part. I don't even know what comic it's associated
It's
with.
part.
'Cause-
It's part of the new one. The new. I think it's the Spider-Verse versus
yeah.
Venom-verse thing. But like, yeah, I know. I really like it. Does look like it still honors the Toku roots without like over designing it. Because I feel like
Mhm.
some, like especially like the Insomniac Spider-Man Toku inspired outfit, a little too over designed. I feel like the one they made for Toei's Spider-Man is like feels like a proper like Heisei remake of Toei
Yeah.
Spider-Man, which I like a lot.
Let me see if I can pull the image up for people.
yeah.
Here it is. Oh yeah, it's for Spider-Verse versus Venomverse.
Wait, did they fight the Iron Cross Joker army? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they gave him a new look because I think that I think it looks. Oh, that looks great. All right, let's see it. I love the scarf. I love the scarf. You stick a scarf on a Toku hero, and I'm in.
I miss scarves so much.
I love the scarf. I love the web wings. I love that he still has the spider bracelet. Right, like they didn't remove that part of him.
Oh, that's it, huh? That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
like
kicking.
it still. I still like it's so simplistic. Like this looks like Kuga, like a Kuga style Toei
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, Luciano Vecchio. Shout out to that artist because that is amazing. Marvel
feel like the
Legend,
eyes-
please.
I feel like the eyes.
Real.
I like the eyes because they. I feel like a proper evolution where
Yeah.
like it looks like a visor now, like a
Yeah,
Power
it looks like
Ranger.
a motorcycle helmet visor, which Takuya Yamashiro is like a motorcycle enthusiast, so it's like it all ties together really, really well.
But it's funny because especially with the color scheme, it still kind of has that Showa
Yeah.
era feel.
You
with
know
the
what
color
it does?
scheme.
It reminds me of like motorcycle stunt outfits, right? Like the old like Evil
Mhm.
Knievel type looks. Yeah, it's got like
Yeah.
that mix of it too. Oh,
Like I see
it's
this
good.
and I see it, like kind of like I hear like something like I think like something out of, like Super Robot Monkey Team High First Go because
Yeah.
that's that same aesthetic pretty much. That kind of like Go Nagai Ishinomori feel, which I
Mhm.
love about that show a lot also.
Mitagi says make this a costume in Spider-Man 3. Yeah, no, they can use this one. They don't have to have Toei involved with this, which is
Yeah. Yep.
I think part of the reason why they're doing it. But this looks great.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh god, imagine this costume in Rivals.
Oh, it would. It'd be better in Rivals. I'm excited. I want to see more of this. I'm not going to be reading Spider-Verse versus Venomverse though.
No, but it's a cool look. It's a cool look.
It's a cool look. It's a cool look. All right, let's get to the toy news because there's hardly any. First things first. GI Joe is putting up a new wave for pre-order tomorrow. This is a weird wave. They announced they pipelined it at the last stream. Then they just dropped the renders on Twitter, and now they're just going up tomorrow. Like they didn't do another stream or they didn't do another like reveal thing. They're just like these are going up tomorrow, and it's so strange. It's like the GI Joe team missed a step along the process. You know?
They do hour-long streams. They need to recharge every time.
Yeah, I know. It's the question is like because I think this is the first. I've looked it up. This is the first retail wave to not be announced at and shown at a stream of any kind.
Interesting.
It's just thrown up. It's like I don't want to say it's thrown up with no fanfare, but it kind of is. Like they just do social media posts about it. But it's the Cobra Commander and the Battle Armor, the version 4 Snake Eyes, Monkey Wrench, and Major Blood. I thought
And
Major Blood was
Sega's
going to be
out.
a retro card when they showed him originally, but he's actually just
And
a regular figure.
Sega's is very outnumbered here.
Yeah, Segai's the only good guy in this. I will say I think they look good. It's just odd that like usually the Hasbro like marketing machine is like, oh, we got to do like a stream or like even like a YouTube video, But the fact that
I guess
it's
it's
like
on the.
a social media post and then it's just like, and now they're up. It's kind
I
of
guess,
wild.
this is the game to the point where I think with GI Joe, they just kind of know people will buy it no matter what scenario.
It's like I determined after doing not doing the rundown is you're either in or you're out. Nobody's on the fence with this line anymore.
It feels like they'll do the stream for the big ticket items
Yeah.
nowadays. It's like, which makes sense since how many big ticket items they are with Joe nowadays.
For sure. But yeah, those are going up tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for those wondering. All right. McFarlane dropped some teasers for stuff going up tomorrow, and if you want them, I guess you got to jump on them because oh my god,
before they get stolen.
Before they get stolen, or like Dr. Fate sold out in 2.5 minutes. I didn't even have a shot.
For you haven't heard, apparently, like the truck holding a lot of the Supergirl punchers and
specifically the ones going to Walmart.
Walmart got stolen.
Yes.
Really?
Page Puncher Supergirl, the Silver Age Superman, I think, and the Killing Joke Joker. Apparently all stolen. The Walmart stock was stolen.
Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Amiibos. What's your Amiibos or 2015 story?
So going up at Walmart eventually, if they don't get stolen, is Year 1 Batman and Year 1 Jim Gordon. I think these are supposed to be a 2-pack.
Seeing how they were listed separately, I think they might be separate
They might be
figures.
singles. Yeah. I know somewhere someone said it was a 2-pack, but I don't know.
I think I think back at Toy Fair we assumed there were 2-pack. Someone's at Toy Fair said there were 2-pack.
We also got Cowboy Batman. I mean, we've seen a bunch of pictures of this guy. I feel like he's just like we constantly keep seeing teases for him. Like, when's he actually going up? You know.
Yep. And then we're getting Mr.
Dark Knight Joker body reuse Alfred.
About to scold Bruce for the 100th time in the Snyderverse.
I do like that he comes with a bunch of tools in his robe.
I like to say it because that's what they had. Like a soft goods apron with the tools there. That's actually pretty cool.
The soft goods apron is a nice surprise. I think that's actually looking pretty good. I'm also happy because they announced him as just Alfred. It's not like, oh, you have to buy a Batmobile with him. You can just buy Alfred.
I'm surprised because
I still want the BVS Batmobile, but
yeah. I'm always surprised how many Alfreds we got in Multiverse. Honestly.
We've gotten more Alfreds in DC Multiverse. McFarlane has made more Alfreds than every other toy company combined prior.
It's just like at this point, like I'm surprised they have, I'm just waiting for comic Alfred to eventually get released.
It's like the only one we haven't done right. We got Michael Goff Alfred, right? We got Jeremy Irons. We got the cartoon Alfred. We did technically get 66 Alfred. No, yeah, we did. That's right. We did get an actual 66 Alfred. We got one dressed as Batman, and then we got the regular one later. We don't have a Andy Serkis though. We need an Andy Serkis Alfred, and we need a Michael Caine Alfred, and a comic Alfred. Oh, they made BTAS Alfred. And all Mattel ever did was Michael Caine Alfred. And then they did.
That's one of the best figures. That's one of the best figures. That was like one of the last figures I remember. They
it was a comic Alfred that came with heads for him to be like Michael Goff and Alan Napier, and it was an all-in-one Alfred. They're like, here, have a bunch of heads.
That's one of the best figures they released because that was like super smart.
Muteki said Birds of Prey Alfresco Alfred. Yeah, no, we should also get him. I mean, I would like. It's really cool. I'm definitely.
I'm surprised we have more Alfreds than Bruce Wayne's. Honestly,
we have more Alfreds than we have Clark Kent's.
Yeah, it's like
we have more Alfreds than we have Lois Lanes.
Yeah,
because
I know, right?
There was the DC Direct Silver Age Lois, the superpowered Silver Age Lois, the New 52 Lois, the Superwoman Lois. I think they made, maybe not. No, they didn't. And then there was like a S-TAS Lois, and that's like there's like 3. And there was a DC Direct's S-TAS Lois. There's like 4 Lois Lanes.
Was there? Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and Alfred are like the 3 civilian characters that should always get made.
It's kind of weird that I'm so weirded out how My Adventure Superman has not got any single merch yet. I'm not sure that's just WB being stingy with the license for that show, or just because it's a cartoon, so no one will buy it.
I also wonder if that's a Spin Master it would fall under Spin Master's purview.
Yeah, well,
And
because we don't know because I mean that's the problem. We haven't got DC cartoons in so long for
yeah,
kids
I think
and families.
it would fall under Spin Master's purview, but the show runs into a problem, right?
Because
It
it's on Adult Swim.
it's on Adult Swim, but its toys would skew for kids because of the
Mm-hmm.
designs. So how
Mm-hmm.
does Spin Master make toys based on it that is an Adult Swim show? But then also, how
Yeah.
does Spin Master do toys for it because the designs don't fit their style?
I
And
mean, I think it could fit their style. Because it fit their style. Just I think it's more the Adult Swim problem.
yeah, it's kind of it's in a weird space, right? Like it's not adult enough that you have to make 18 plus collectibles, but it's not kid enough that you can just easily, make it's in that weird bubble that like Young Justice was in, where it's in a TV PG space. But because the
Yeah,
branding is Adult Swim and not Cartoon Network, I think that might be an issue.
or it's right not Tanami really enough.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
know.
it's not. If it was Toonami, they probably could do it easier than just straight up Adult Swim. But
Yeah.
maybe Mattel will solve that problem when they get.
I hope because
Yeah,
like if they announce them, I'm buying that. I'm buying those
yeah.
so much.
Then again, they only made 2 toys for Beware the Batman.
Yeah, but weren't those Beware the Batman ones more like they were like they were just thrown into the main like
Yeah, they were.
line
Yeah,
and
and
such? So that's totally
very
not
weird.
taking. That's not a separate
And
toy line. It's
Anarchy
just
never
they
came
throw
out, so they actually only made 1 figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's the round 1 McFarlane teases. We also got Eradicator with his big dumb plastic cape that I don't like. He's
Surprised the plastic cape because
and
you
the
think they'd
reason
be
why
going
is because he's
all.
a straight repaint of the New 52 Eradicator they made.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Damn
they
it.
and
I guess I'll,
also because the cape comes over the shoulders and clips into the
yeah, that might
symbol.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah, design wise.
Yeah. I think they could do it if they were doing it from the ground up, but because they want to reuse the mold, understandably. Yeah. There's that. And then Green Lantern in power armor from Return of Superman, which is just
He
steel
looks.
with a new head and a new chest emblem.
He looks such like a. I know he's. I think this is. I know he's from the comic, but he reeks of like Kenner toy.
He does. But it was also the 90s, so that, that can just go either way.
That too, yeah.
All right.
Did,
Let's get to the
did
Bandai news, because I got...
last thing about the DC card, did GT did DC Supergirls G2 ever get merch?
Yes.
Okay, because
It
I
just
wasn't
never
sure.
released in most regions.
Okay, so it was like
It
the
was like
She-Ra.
only on the East Coast, and there was just a few dolls, and they looked horrifying.
I think I saw them
Actually,
like once or
let's
twice.
side change into this just for a moment. Let's see, DC Superhero Girls,
What?
V2 dolls, because I know they showed. I actually don't even know if they actually released. The original dolls were great. Okay, they did release. You can buy the box set on Amazon or on Walmart.
How much is that
$70
at
for
Walmart?
a box set. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking at the page. I'm just looking at the images. So, because my mom really liked the DC Superhero Girls dolls. So here they are. So this is the
They look high
version 1.
quality.
I should turn off the Bandai tech. So this is the version 1 DC Superhero Girls dolls for the originals. They made dolls first, and then they made a cartoon out of them. They're really nice. They're really nice. They have nice posability. They got they have single jointed knees that work better than single jointed knees on Black Series. They're really good action dolls.
I mean they're the Barbie big surprise, the Barbie company makes good dolls.
Yeah.
Really that.
And so they're great. Great line, did a bunch of characters. So then they rebooted the idea when they did the Lauren Faust DC Supergirl series, and then the dolls looked like this. And they lost all their articulation, and the proportions got incredibly weird. And
Lauren Faust's art style is just too hard to make into dolls. I think so. It's the problem.
And the problem here is they decided to make them like bobbleheads.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's the same thing. I remember like the MLP
Yeah.
G4 had the same problem where that art style cannot translate to your normal doll like pony doll like figure. You had to make.
I
them
think what
sculpt
they
the
should have
figure.
just done was taken the designs and applied them to the regular DC Superhero Girl doll bodies. Like just kept that style, but then just do the costumes that match the show.
Yeah, they gave me. They're giving me that LOL surprise like Uncanny Valley vibes. I hate that.
Yeah, for real.
Benjamin Wiseman, that's quite a downgrade. Yeah, that's why my mom picked up none of these. Like with the original DC Superhero Girls, she ended up double dipping on Starfire because Starfire came out, and then later they did a 2-pack of Starfire and Blackfire. So then we had to rebuy Starfire to get Blackfire. There was also a Comic-Con exclusive Katana that was really
cool.
amazing. I picked that one up for me because I love Katana. And that one was just like, it was like packed with detail, and it came like a fancy box and a stand and everything. Let me see if I can find it. No, it's, oh yeah, Blade Raider. That's a perfect way of summing it up. Brat dollification.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
That's
Yeah,
what they look like.
they got the Brat style. Yeah, here, let me pull up these two images here. So here is Katana in DC Superhero Girls. This is the regular release Katana. I actually don't remember if we got this one. I think we skipped it. I think we skipped this one because we had the Comic-Con one. So that was the regular one. And then here's the Comic-Con one, which she had like chrome swords and extra weapons and like a whole display stand that she could like pose on, and it had like a full bodysuit and like layered pieces of armor. Like it's a beautiful set for what is essentially like a spin-off of a kids line.
That's the because this is Katana. She cut my back.
Yeah.
That's the thing about like even like that's the thing like I think most people of course don't follow doll stuff, but like there is a difference between good quality dolls and bad quality dolls.
Yeah. And I'm also looking at this too. I'm noticing that like it's very much like the collector one is like extra paint, more bodysuit stuff. But then the standard one's more accurate to the animation. So there's the kind of reasons for both of this. But also, the reason why she was exclusive that year was because that was the year Suicide Squad came out. So they were like, let's put her in there. Because it's not like they're going to make a DC Superhero Girls doll of Enchantress.
Yep.
Yeah. I just hit play on the intro video again. Whoops. Anyways, let's get back to the Bandai news. So we get this, because... Alright, so first up, the Ultraman Nexus 20th anniversary ended months ago, but here we go with another Ultra Replica 20th anniversary set. This was weird. They released the Evolt Thruster and the Blast Shot as a set for Ultra Replica, like, when they did it originally. And then they released the Evolt Thruster on its own as a 20th anniversary edition, and then they didn't release the Blast Shot, like, right after. Like, they did the Mabius Brace, and then they did the Night Brace, like, right after. The Blast Shot just didn't come, and I was like, I guess they're not doing it. And then here we are, months after the Nexus anniversary's over. We're into the Max anniversary, so we should be, seeing Max stuff. And then here's the Blast Shot. It's like they forgot about it, and they're like, oh, we should probably have put that up for order. So just like before, like with the Evolt Thruster, this is the same mold, same stand design, all that. But now it has a whole lot more sound effects. The description talks about how some of the sound effects are meant to complement the sound effects in the Evolt Thruster in terms of voice lines, matching certain scenes. You get all four Nexus users' voices in it. The thing that I find a little frustrating, because I know they did this on purpose, is that they actually got the clearances to do the 2 theme songs from Nexus, and then they stuck it in the gun, not in the Evolt Thruster.
Is that the why moment for you?
Yeah, because I don't really need the Blast Shot, but I would have loved to have the theme songs, because all the music choices in the Evolt Thruster is great. But I really was like, why is there no theme song in it? And then
because it's all the background music. It's all the OST of the show, right?
Yeah, it's all the OST. It's not any of the theme songs. I love the theme songs. And so now I'm like, oh, do I need the Blast Shot now just for the theme songs? Or do I just keep playing songs off my phone like a normal person? But yeah, because I love this thing, but, and I was fine not getting the Blast Shot. And now they're like, oh, but it's tempting. Like, adding more voice lines, that doesn't get me. Adding music, maybe.
Which Digivice song will be instant buy for you then?
I already got it because it was Last Element from Frontier.
Oh yeah.
I would say, the songs from Savers, but they don't hit me as well as Last Element does. Last Element's just kind of like next level. Anyways,
Believer is a great song.
I love Believer. I love Hiyori. I would I want, like, if they're gonna do a SCSA Savers Digivice, I think they're gonna do it next year. Next year's the 20th. I have a feeling. It needs to have both theme songs. It needs to have the Evolution theme, bare minimum. Like at least those 3 songs, and I'm sure it will. Because it's like one of the only shows that has 2 theme songs for Digimon. I think it is the only one that has 2 theme songs.
Cross Wars.
Those are technically 3 shows if you get, because they changed titles.
Right. Wait. All right, because the second season of Crossword is totally a separate show.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
Digimon Cross Wars and the Seven Death Generals.
I keep forgetting that's the because I guess season 3 is more obvious.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the way that like Toei breaks it down is that like season 1 and 2 are one show, and then season 3 is another show. But like they retitled season 2, which makes it its own show in Digimon things, because Digimon Adventure 02, separate title, separate show, right?
Mhm.
but Digimon Cross Wars and the Seven Death Generals, because it kind of gets lumped in, but it is technically a separate show. So Sabers is the only one to switch theme songs without switching titles. And somebody dropped something outside my window outside, and I don't know what it is. All right, last thing on the toy news. Kaus, it's time for you to shine, because I don't know anything going on here. SH Figuarts JoJo Bizarre Adventure got announced.
Oh, dang. Oh, yes.
So no chi no sadame.
Finally. Do you know how hard it is to be a JoJo fan and not have good, like, That's been a thing for decades.
Yeah, because we had those, like, Staction figures.
It's like being a Shaman King fan, except the series is actually popular.
Because the Staction JoJo figure, I forget the full name of the line. They're not horrible, but they aren't great either. And such. So
can I test my knowledge here? Can I test my knowledge here?
Yes.
Okay. These are the 6 protagonists from part 1 to 6 , right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Can you name all of it?
Can you name all?
I can't name. Can I make the joke? Can I make the joke?
What, call them all
they're
JoJo?
all named JoJo, right?
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically.
It's like that old Brooklyn Nine-Nine meme where it's like, can you name a number of these things, and you just answer with one thing, like, oh well, I set the bar low.
Oh well, that's something. I set the bar too low. Exactly. That's obvious.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting. This is honestly insane, because when they did the tease of JoJo a couple days ago, it's a classic thing. Are they just gonna do part 1? Are they gonna do part 3? Because part 3 is like the famous one. Are they gonna do part 6? Because Jolene was the most recent one before part 7 got announced. And so no, they announced part 1 to 6. Jonathan, Joseph, Jotaro, Josuke, Gerono, and Jolene. That's like insane. They get.
It's a nuts for Bandai to announce this. They won't even show an entire Straw Hat crew.
Yeah, I know, right?
I remember reading decades ago about, like, you know how much suffering it is for a JoJo fan to not have anything? Dragon Ball gets stuff, My Hero gets stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
but JoJo, nah.
Yeah, so the fact that Bandai's like, no, we're getting all 6 protagonists, and that's great, because say they did part 3 first, and they'll do part Jotaro, and then maybe Dio, and maybe some other part 3 crew. So say you're a fan of part 6. Oh god, how long am I gonna wait for Jolene to come out, for example? So here, I think for showing a series like JoJo, I think it is more important to get the protagonist out of the way first before you do anybody else. So that's great.
Because that gives you an instant collection, right? Just having the protags, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's recommending me ways to get into JoJo, and I eventually.
It's on Shonen Jump.
I have a feeling that my way to get into it is the manga, because
the manga.
Yeah, it's on the app.
The Day production anime is not bad either. You want to watch that.
You don't start singing Beatles songs. YouTube will axe me. My dad's right outside the door, and he's trying to start singing the lyrics to Get Back. No, none of that.
Which is that's how he got the idea.
Yeah, because JoJo.
Yeah,
because JoJo.
Araki said that.
JoJo loves his music.
So Get Back was the inspiration for the whole name of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yep.
You were right on point, Dad.
Araki did say that.
Araki loves his music. Half the character, the main actor actual music, which the dubs had to change.
Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
Common JoJo says don't skip part 1. I am the person that watched every episode of Naruto. Do you think I would skip anything?
Actually, surprised you haven't watched at least part 1 because it has vampires.
Yeah, it's true. It's one of those things where I've looked at it. It's like you and Ghost in the Shell, Ryan. it's it's there, and you're like, maybe I should, and then you haven't, right? I'm kind of in the same boat.
But because the only figure we saw full on is Jonathan, and he looks great because.
Oh yeah, there's other pictures I forgot.
Yeah, because with JoJo, you kind of need to make sure they have some Really
super
good book,
glad about that
really?
torso articulation, right?
Yeah,
Like,
because you know you haven't seen watched or seen Joe. You know about those crazy poses.
yes.
Yep, exactly.
No,
Characters pull
it's
off.
like the visual like language of the
Oh
series.
wait, pluck. He even has a sword.
Yeah,
Pluck.
I love because of the sword. Also, yeah, like that's the thing. With JoJo, like that was the problem with the statue figures. Like they were super limited, so you can't
Mm,
really do the crazy poses. Araki loves to draw, so like having like looks of a John and like he looks like he has some like really good torso articulation. Like he looks like he has single joint elbows. It's hard to tell, but like it looks like they bend deep, which is good.
yeah.
And such that, so that's great to
I
see.
will say
So
I
what?
definitely would read the manga because Naruto made me never want to watch, never want to just start an adaptation of a show with the anime unless it's like short. Like I'm like I'm opposed to like watching adapted manga as anime first now because of how horribly torturous Naruto was.
Well, hey, look, it's pre-Bleach Thousand Year Blood War parrot. That's like
Yeah,
that's sort of a bad intro start. I'll tell you
I
that.
know. So that's the
Um,
thing is that's why I'm like I would like to read the JoJo manga first and then watch the anime. And probably what I do is I'd read part one, watch part one, that kind of thing.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, but yeah. It's kind of JoJo has no filler because the manga was
Yeah,
done
yeah, it's
decades
true.
in advance.
Yep, there's
That is
nothing
the
that's
to add.
good.
Yep.
That's good.
yeah, because that's the thing about that's the thing like the JoJo the day production anime since the manga is so old, it's not really aging
Is
any
it pretty
film.
faithful too? Is it pretty
Yeah,
faithful?
it
Yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
Super faithful. The only thing is if you watch the dub, they had to change names because of copyright.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good that it's faithful because like one of the things the more One Piece anime I watch, the more I realize that Sanji's a different character.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's definitely the advantage of JoJo, the JoJo anime, since the
Yeah.
manga's been not done because it's still ongoing, but the older parts are old,
Yeah.
so there's no they don't have to guess how the characters gonna act. I think that's the problem with a lot of the like where a series is ongoing when
Mhm.
anime doing essentially like older ones because nowadays it's a little more better since they usually wait the manga to be much more
Season
advanced.
breaks help so much for these
Yeah,
shows. Yeah.
yeah, so that's the problem with Naruto, One Piece, Bleach is since they didn't know what they're making the show alongside the manga.
Mm.
The manga's making the manga. Certain things are super different, like in the Bleach anime. They really pushed Ichigo and Rukia together, the couple, because they just thought
Yeah, they did.
Parrot thought
Yeah.
that was the shipping, but is really is Orihime and Ichigo. It's just they
Mhm.
didn't know because Kubo didn't told them and such like that. So
Yeah,
and as you said,
it's like how Toei gets a partial pass on Jewelry Bonnie, but after a certain point it's like, okay, come on now.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
now, why are you not changing? Like
The only thing I
yeah.
am curious about with the JoJo figure arts is how they're gonna handle the stands because they're practically separate figures,
Yeah.
separate
Pretty much, yeah.
figure. Yeah, because it's something
I know
that's so like
somebody mentioned in the chat. Hold on, let me see. It's in the chat here. Somebody mentioned one. Peacemaker said, "Can bet that Star Platinum will be the only retail stand."
yeah, I won't. Yeah, honestly, I won't be surprised. Like there's certain stands
Mm,
like Jolene's where it's not like an actual physical. No, I mean they can come with stand effect parts
yeah.
like them using their powers, but the actual stand themselves, yeah, they have to be separate figures.
I mean, like,
Unless you're
also, if Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four can't get his stand released, then I don't know if anyone can. No, I'm not even kidding. Like Johnny Blaze, not Johnny Blaze. Sorry, my brain broke. Johnny Storm has a stand right now called Flamo, and it's a
oh my
flame
god.
clone of himself, and his name is Flamo, and he's the best. And he has a matching mustache that matches Johnny's mustache, and
That is a JoJo stand.
yeah, exactly. Ryan North is doing amazing things with Johnny Storm right now.
I love it.
He's
But yeah,
letting Sue turn the planet invisible, and he's letting Johnny Storm have a stand named Flamo.
yeah, Kyle, Star Platinum in the world and Zawado will be the only one in retail. Maybe Jerome also when the anime airs, but the rest be P-Man. Well, I mean, you say Gerono, Kyle, but like that problem with Gerono is you need to include the horse. How do you need the horse?
Don't they have a horse
That's
mold
the-
from the Berserk line?
yeah, but that's gonna be expensive still, no matter
That's
what.
true. Yeah, I mean they did release the horse at retail though for Berserk, so
Midget Sneaky,
Oh
Joe question,
god.
are stands separate entities or power production for the stand unit? It's power and projection. They're not separate beings. They're like a personification of their like inner selves, like Persona.
yeah. Which also,
Yep.
hey, Persona, a line that famously only makes the human side.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, thankfully, unlike the Persona characters do fight, but like not as much as JoJo, for example. I mean, this is great. I mean, it's always more great to see more Shonen Jump, especially older series get more figures to add to the collection, and such like that. So I'm happy about that. I'm still waiting for that Blood Clover.
If you guys see the stream, you can see Flamo.
Oh my god, hold on, let me see.
I
God.
just had to pull up Flamo. It just makes me so happy.
Oh my god, I love him.
I love the
Oh, that's
reaction
perfect.
too. Sue's just like, a fire buddy. I don't believe this. Alicia, I can absolutely believe this.
I just love the horrible mustache still. So
Yes, I love that. Like, the more that people complain about the mustache, the longer it stays.
yes. Here's the thing: could you just totally make a Flamo with just having a Flame on Johnny next to a human, like a non-Flame on Johnny, technically?
Yes, but we don't have a Johnny with a mustache.
You reminded
Yeah,
me
that's the
of
problem.
X-Men Children of the Atom, where Iceman makes an ice statue of himself
Oh yeah, he's
and
like,
stands next to it.
Green Lantern never tried to do this, honestly.
I mean, Hal Jordan tried to recreate all of his dead loved ones in the entire city. So
Yeah, true.
and then the
Yeah.
Guardians were like, "You're fired," and he's like, "You're dead," and then that's when that whole thing started. So
As for Jason Death Note figure arts, when am I surprised they haven't done Death Note yet?
yeah, kind of
Because
shocked
like,
too, honestly. Yeah, no,
uh,
it's wild.
All right,
but yeah, I think that should
We
be all
did
the
it. That
news.
was the end of the
Grab
We
it.
news.
did it. 2 hours.
Okay.
We did it.
We
Finally.
did it in 2 hours. Hooray! It's mostly because we
Cool.
didn't declare it was going to be 2 hours at the top of the stream. We actually made it.
Yeah, didn't shoot yourself in the foot.
Exactly. So on that note, though, it's time to wrap up because
Kels, what do you do tomorrow?
I stream KOF. Yeah, stream at KOF on twitch.tv/fightercows, which Soundout will link because he also shows up. If you remember, he shows up, he talks with me. You can ask him more questions. And we're getting maybe hype for City of the Wolves. I don't know.
You can
I don't
you can
know.
bug him about to read JoJo.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Fonzie 805 says there's a new Marvel vs. Capcom collection trailer. We'll take a look at that and talk about it tomorrow. Because tomorrow's a game.
Yeah, it's just a quality of life update. So you're curious.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Check out
Okay.
a bit.
No, what I'm actually hyped for is the other collection.
The Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is coming out soon.
Yes.
It's a month. It's a month from now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, if you guys are fans of omnibus collecting, Near Mint Conditions starting their out of print omnibus poll today. So go check out their channel for that. Anyways, just wanted to shout them out because they're cool. And then, yeah, Ryan, I guess you're up next.
You can follow me at Dark Horse Fever Tree on YouTube and Blue Sky. I do art commercials like the one you see this very channel. You want any? Feel free to either DM me on Blue Sky or Discord on Sound Discord Protocol and link in the description below.
Cool. There'll be videos this week as usual. I don't have tomorrow's short done, but I was like, if I get done with the stream early enough, I can just go work on it. No big deal.
Oh, do you have a certain angry future man to do a short of?
I do, but I don't know if I'm gonna knock it out tonight or it'll be either tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see.
Are you having
with two alternate back plates. I think it's gonna be Thursday. I need a little more time.
You have but that'll ruin the figure Thursday trend.
I don't have any new figure arts to review, so just sub figure arts from FX.
Dig out old one.
Just be like, now we're reviewing Orochimaru. But yeah, there'll be some cool videos this week. Just depending on how things go. It's we hit summer weather here, so if there's a video where I'm just talking to the camera, it's because summer weather hit.
Is that why you did the Daredevil ranking?
Partially, but also because I thought, well, Daredevil's wrapping up its season tomorrow, so maybe it'll like boost it. But like nobody's talking about Daredevil and nobody's watching it, so whatever.
Any quick thoughts on the series so far before finale?
Show's been fantastic, I think overall. Especially considering like what they had to work with. I think episode 8 was like probably the best episode of the whole season, and I'm really, really excited for the finale. So, yeah, I think I'll talk about it more. I'll rank it on the MCU tier list next week. Yeah, I'll throw it on the MCU tier list. It's not gonna hit S. The season's not good as a whole, but A.
Am I surprised? I surprised honestly.
Yeah, it's because it's as good as the show is. You can look and you can tell what was from the original version of the show and what was from the reshoots. And so sometimes there's a plot line where you're like, we're going, oh, that got dropped. Because you could tell that was a plot line in the original version that they weren't continuing into the new version. Anyways, we'll see how it all comes together. I gotta like look at it and then like think about it for a week, and then Andor starts airing, so I'm just gonna be like annoying about Star Wars for like a month.
So you're being 2 kicks. You're
Yes,
currently in 2
2
kicks at Disney
kicks.
right now.
Yeah, and then also, oh god, the only complication is the Andor like final 3 episodes airs while I'm gonna be at Disneyland, so it's gonna be a little awkward.
Why they screen the episodes at Disneyland?
They don't, but I wish they would. I mean, I can always
Uh,
I
oh,
usually
they
bring
oh,
my
they
Roku on trips when I want to watch streaming
oh,
shows.
they don't do like the Nintendo World Store does in New York, where they
Yeah.
actually stream the Nintendo Directs when
Hmm.
there.
Yeah, no, they don't actually do that. They want you to go pay for Disney Plus, I guess. But yeah,
But we're pay for Disney.
yeah, but they love making you pay for a ticket and then making you pay for a ride pass on top of it and a thing on top of it and a thing on top of it. Meanwhile, Universal's like $74 and you can come go on a Star Trek bridge and meet the One Piece crew and go on a Dungeons and Dragons adventure and go to the Back to the Future courthouse. And I'm like, yeah.
What you're saying is content for the channel coming soon.
Oh
We
yeah,
go
no,
there
I
then.
would be filming stuff for sure. Unless they tell me not to.
Guys, I met the real Monkey D. Luffy.
I'm gonna meet the closest thing to real Monkey D. Luffy at that thing. But yeah, no, there'll be a video. They'll be like, and here's what I did while I was at Universal. I'm going on the first day of the Disneyland 70th anniversary, which I'm expecting to be a chaotic mess. So appreciate. I'll film something of that because that's gonna be nutty. I've never gone to the first day of an event like season, so it's gonna be crazy. But anyways, that's coming up next month. This month it's just me making videos until then, and making videos. I may do last thought before we leave. I may do a couple pre-recorded live streams to go up while I'm gone. Like we'll figure out.
Are we gonna do that? Yeah, just contact us so we can do it
Yeah.
with you then.
I'll schedule it out with you guys. But like we'll be
Any before you go, actually, any
yes.
updates on the member only streams? Because we're in the middle of April now.
I need to do one, and the consensus from when I asked the members in a community post, when should we do it, was I got the consensus of, like I didn't get I didn't get anybody agreeing on a certain time. It was just all over the place.
Was there any common dates, or was it all over the place?
Not a single common. Every single person answered a different date. So I was like,
you had to pick one.
I'll figure it out. It's probably just gonna end up being convenient for me, and then we'll just go from there. But if you guys are members and you haven't commented on that, go check the community. That's not called community tab anymore. It's called posts.
Posts.
Yeah,
that's so
go check
weird.
the posts on the channel. And then yeah, because I can't even pull it because it's just like I got completely different answers from everybody. So yeah, got to work that out. All right. That's it for now. We'll see you guys next week, and have a good one.